have beaten the Gators in Gainesville. The streak ends, the O-Dome curse is broken, and Arkansas wins it by a final of 82-74. Some are just a little bit sweeter than others, and this is one of them.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
I
hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just gotta keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
I was listening to Eric Musselman after the game talking with Marty Smith, and he said to Marty, we've got some good mojo going right now. Well, they won 12 of 13. They got the streak is over in Gainesville as of last night. It looked a little hairy at times, a little dicey, but this team managed to claw and scrap and fight their way to another victory, 82-74, as you heard Chuck on the call at the top of our open. We're going to have Joe Lunardi, Joey Brackets, join us at 8 a.m. this morning to give a perspective, a really valued perspective where Arkansas is in the NCAA tournament seed line right now. There's been a gambling rule change here in Arkansas just in time for March Madness coming up. Plus, also, Jaden Hazelwood is apparently getting grief from Sooner fans for transferring to Arkansas, and I want to talk about him for a little bit to get some football content this morning here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday.
Yeah, we're off and running, brought to you by Farm Credit on this cold winter Wednesday morning. Hey, in addition to farms, livestock, and homes, Farm Credit can help you finance recreational land. They have a new loan product that makes financing all sizes of hunting tracts, including those turkey grounds you'd like to be on here in a couple of months, quick and easy. And Farm Credit understands that hunting and fishing, hey, it's part of what we do right here in Arkansas. Stop by your local Farm Credit office today and finance that hunting land you've always wanted before deer or turkey season get here. Next, go to myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com. Arkansas really kind of was forced to play Florida's game last night. Not as much defense in the first half. Arkansas really had to make some adjustments, battled through foul trouble throughout the game, and in the end they get a much-needed, long overdue road win by scoring 82 points at Florida.
3 guys for Arkansas had 4 fouls. Stanley Amude, Jalen Williams, and Devontae Davis. Luckily, none of them fouled out. I was concerned that Colin Castleton was going to pick up another one on Jalen. Arkansas was fortunate he did not, and they persevered to a victory. A lot of things that can be taken away this game. You're welcome to jump in here and give us your opinion at 877-377-6963 throughout the morning. Now Arkansas finds himself 4-4 against Quad 1 opponents. They have 3 games remaining, so at least in the regular season, you could be up to 7-4. We'll see how Kentucky, LSU, and Tennessee shake out the rest of the way. But this was, in both Tommy and my opinion, a bigger game for Florida. But apparently, Tommy, it was a bigger game to Arkansas last night.
Well, I mean, I think the loss, while a quality loss for Florida, that really sets them back in the SEC standings. We got to see how the games tonight play out. They needed a win like this. As you saw the graphic throughout the game, they're on the next 4 out. They needed a win like this to be the first 4 out and work their way in. I know we're going to talk to Joe Lunardi coming up, but this was a win Florida really needed for their postseason. Arkansas didn't have to have last night to make the tournament. This was a bigger loss for Florida than probably it was a win for Arkansas. This was the worst net rankings team you'll play the rest of the way. So Arkansas needed to win this one because I guess in theory it could hurt them the worst. But this was a big win for a lot of reasons. Net rankings-wise, tournament seeding-wise, which Arkansas is on a 6 seed line right now. But for Florida, they're just trying to find a way into the tournament. And this was one last night they needed to do that. Also with where they stood with that wad of teams there in the middle that started last night at 7-7. They needed that win for league standings purposes. Now Arkansas is all but assured one of the top 4 seeds with the win last night with 3 games to go.
Sam brings up on YouTube that Arkansas finished on a 24-12 run, and that's what you really saw at the end of that basketball game. The Razorbacks locked in defensively, and they got it done on the offensive end. J.D. Note hit a big-time 3. Jalen Williams hit a big-time 3. Stanley Mude hit a big-time 3. A lot of clutch shots in this game last night. And again, traditionally you haven't played well in Gainesville, but Eric Musselman talked about it with Marty Smith after. It's like, well, I've only coached 1 game outside of this game in Gainesville. So these weren't my teams. These weren't these guys. So he put it in a perspective, this team is the only time that they played in Gainesville. So cool to see that this team, again, the longest streak by a mile. I think the Mississippi State, if I remember correctly from Hogstats, is either last time you won there, I think it was 2015. So that's the next streak that you want to break this next season. But you got it done, and you've got the SEC standings up right now.
Well, and of course, you got to play games tonight. But Arkansas moves to 11-4. Kentucky's 11-3, just ahead of you, and of course, Auburn at the top at 12-2. Is talking about last night. You had wins for Alabama to move to 8-7, and then Florida. You got to scroll down a little farther because they dropped to 7-8, and still to play LSU, South Carolina, and Mississippi State in the middle of those standings. All have games this evening, so. It's a big deal for Florida. And, again, Arkansas now with, 3 full games of clearance, I guess, at 11-4, at least in the win column, versus Alabama at 8-7, finds themselves in 5th. Arkansas and Tennessee are all but kind of assured a double bye in the tournament.
Mm-hmm. You lock up a top 4 seed if you win 1 of your remaining 3 games.
Right.
That's all you got to do. Is if you want a top 4 seed in the SEC tournament, you guys won all of them this morning, and I don't blame you. But if you want a top 4 seed in Tampa, all you have to do is either beat Kentucky, LSU, or Tennessee. Now, that's easier said than done. LSU's got a big game in Rupp Arena tonight as they take on the Kentucky Wildcats, and they're playing better than they were during that stretch where I think they had lost 5 of 6 or something like that. But that's all you got to do to get a top 4 seed, and that's because you've gone on this winning streak where you've won 12 of 13, and they keep getting better. Now, there's some improvement to take away. I know Jalen Williams probably doesn't like the way that Colin Castleton was able to take him one-on-one last night. His job doesn't get any easier when he takes on Oscar Tshiebwe this Saturday inside of Bud Walton Arena. I know, and Musk said after the game he was okay with Devo's technical, but that's the second time that Devontae has slammed his head on the backboard. He did it last season. I'm forgetting the game, but if that was a closer game, you really don't want that. But it was cool to see him kind of run out in the stretch. He's had some dunks at the end of games. Texas A&M, this one, Auburn, where it's just kind of sealed the deal, and it was kind of the ending factor of last night's
Well, and when
one.
you have a dunk and I know your body momentum takes you forward. He didn't get stuck for the swing.
No, it's the slapper on the back.
But when you swing like that, that is exacerbating or exaggerating the swing. You bring so much attention to yourself. Then when you slap the backboard on top of the swing, you're going to get stuck every time. So it wasn't a heads-up play. It wasn't a smart play.
And Dykes and Ravitch were like, what is he doing? Because, again, I think that was a 7-point game at that point, but imagine if that had been a 2 or 3-point game and that had changed the outcome. I think Eric Musselman would not have been as happy about being asked about that in the press conference if that had done it. But luckily, Arkansas was able to, again, build a lead, and he did it, and it didn't matter as much. But just a heads up, that's the one that you get this season, Devo. Don't do that because you did it last year, you did this year. Try not to do it again.
And Musk didn't take him out right then. Now, foul trouble was part of it, but Devo had 4. I mean, it wasn't like Musk did not take him out at that point. He knew what he meant to the lineup. And like we've been talking about, you're looking for that extra oomph offensively. We've been kind of pinpointing Devo as the guy that could take this team to the next level. He had 19 last night. That's what I'm talking about. He had some timely shots against Tennessee, but 19 points is exactly what we're talking about. So a good mix of offense. I think the defense in the first half still aggravated Musk, but we got a lot to unpack from last night's win at Gainesville, Florida. The first in 14 attempts, and the first since 1995 for the Arkansas Razorbacks. We're brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Your in-ground pool could be right there in your own backyard this summer. So if you're kind of looking out the window on a wintry morning here on this Wednesday and wondering, hey, it's time to kind of pull the trigger on this backyard oasis you've always wanted, get $5,000 off when you sign up before the end of the month at Burton Pools and Spas. They've got big savings on in-ground pools that make payments as low as $290 a month. And when you sign up now and mention the Morning Rush, they'll upgrade you to a free saltwater pool upgrade. This will save you money, Doesn't have to put chlorine in the pool. The maintenance is so much easier. That's a $2,000 value. It's yours free right now when you mention the Morning Rush and sign up for your in-ground pool at Burton Pools and Spa, Springdale, and in Fort Smith, and online at burtonpools.com.
It's the anniversary of Bobby Knight's ejection back in the day.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is Zubin Mehenti with ESPN Radio, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and he promised when he went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Link and Altalink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch, dinner, and brunch. Open 7 days a week, both on the patio and cozy dining room. River City Bistro, locally owned and open weekdays 11 till 8, Saturdays 10 till 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Gators out of there with it, then Wade took it away from him. Trey gives it to Note, top of the key, three-pointer good.
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Brought to you by Breeden RV Center. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Back on this day in 1985, Bob Knight got ejected into the loss that they had to Purdue when he was back as the head coach in Indiana. The reason I bring this up is last night, Dan Hurley was ejected last night for pumping up his crowd inside of Storrs as they somehow, someway beat Villanova without him as the head coach. I want to play these audio clips coming up. I know one you'll know, then one you want to get into last night too.
Hey, the fence man's looking for quality people to join their team. They build quality fences and gates and fencing projects of all kinds. They need more people to join their team to help build these projects out because they got tons of work on the books, and they need people with carpentry skills, construction skills, fence building skills, welding skills to come be a part of the team. In fact, they've got great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus right now when you join the team as an employee at the Fence Man. Apply today in person, 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. That's 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
I was in shock, just because with the two situations, occasionally when guys miss, shots at the rim. I think Tyrese had missed a finish in the paint. I turned and kind of hit the scorer's table. Then it was about a 5 or 6 second delay, and then I got a technical foul, I guess, for hitting the scorer's table, and then I felt like Gillespie was getting close to shooting free throws, technical free throws. I then turned to get the crowd loud while he was shooting the technical, and they threw me out. So, it was surreal. I was stunned. I guess I'll wait and see what the Big East. I'm very eager to find out from the head of officials what the explanation was.
Is that an unwritten rule that you can't pump up a crowd during a technical or whatever? No, and I watched this, and I was looking to see if he'd said anything to the officials or anything, and Tommy, he literally just goes to pump up the crowd, and they give him a tee.
I haven't seen the video, so just basing what he said, no, not that. I would like to hear the other side of this story before saying right, wrong, or indifferent, but based on what the facts are laid on that one side of the story, I'd say that would be a highly unusual ejection, especially. Technical foul for slapping the table, automatic. Pumping up the crowd, probably not. My interpretation of that, just listening to that, and that's my only input on this at all, is it was interpreted that if he's trying to incite the crowd or raise the volume towards the officiating because he was upset with him getting a technical foul. But if it's the way he said it, just getting the crowd loud because the opponent's shooting the free throws certainly wouldn't merit. I wouldn't think a technical foul, much less a second technical foul that would result in ejection.
Well, I've seen Muss slap the table plenty of times and hadn't been given a tag. So I don't know if I would necessarily qualify.
It is A, did you see it? B, why were you slapping the table in response to a call or slapping it in response to your team not breaking down on defense? So who you mad at when you're doing it? Doesn't excuse the act, but you're going to get a little more leeway when your frustration and anger is not aimed at the guys with the whistles around their neck.
So that's one ejection, but the one that's probably the most vivid and that comes to mind for most of you is this one back in 1985.
Steve Reed, an excellent free throw shooter, will have the honors shooting the technicals.
Looky here. Bobby Knight just threw his chair clear across the free throw lane.
And I think Fred
Unbelievable. He picked up another tee. And now Fred Jaspers is called for athletic director Ralph Floyd.
Fred Jaspers talking to Mr. Floyd down in the corner.
Now, I'd forgotten. I knew this was a rule, but it just escaped my brain that you used to get three techs.
Yeah,
back in the day.
That was his third technical.
And no, that was his second. Then they gave him another on top.
Yeah, he got a third. Well, there at the end, he got a third tech. I think you could be run with no technicals for throwing a chair. They may just send you. You'd get one.
Yeah.
You haven't seen anyone do anything like that since then.
Breezy texted in classic Bob Knight. Yeah, that was a wild scene. I haven't seen, and I'm trying to think of the ejections that stand out to me over the years. They're more baseball than anything. Mm-hmm. I think about the Cubs minor league guy that was acting like, what's the thing that the pitchers hold?
The rosin
bag?
The
rosin bag. Remember when he acted like it was a grenade and then ducked his head? I can't think of who that.
It was a minor league manager.
Yes.
Philip something. He was with the Braves, if I remember right. But you're right. And he kind of crawled out like an Army Ranger on his belly, and and threw the grenade. I mean, that was a that was quite a theatrical scene.
Yeah, and you think, and we're coming up on this Kentucky game on Saturday, you think about Cal's ejection 2 years ago. Eric Musselman has had a few ejections as well. The Oklahoma game, he got a tech
Missouri
against
game the previous year. It was early January.
Okay.
And he got tossed out. I'm 99% certain it was Missouri.
What are some other notable ejections that are escaping my mind this morning? Football, basketball, baseball. You rarely see them in football. I can't think of one outside of targeting that a coach getting thrown out. Baseball and basketball.
Baseball, you always think, because that's part of the show in baseball. And we've kind of lost some of that. Baseball's on a work stoppage right now, and they need to figure out no one really cares. But part of the show of going to a baseball game was from time to time, the manager would disagree with something, come out to home plate. Earl Weaver was one of the best ever at this in Major League Baseball, but it's kind of like fighting in hockey. An ejection in baseball, it's just part of the show, and they come out and they'd kick dirt on the home plate, and they'd just really show their hind end. It entertained the fans. And while we've tried to clean up a lot of this in other places for sportsmanship reasons, it does take away from what is part of the show. Dave Van Horn's been tossed a time or two. He not often, but he's been ejected a time or two for arguing, and I think those are always entertaining to see when you really get your money's worth on an ejection. But you mentioned the one with Cal, and obviously they're coming up Saturday. I think a lot of these, much like Cal's, are orchestrated. Sometimes I don't think with UConn.
Oh yeah, he 100% meant to get thrown out.
Absolutely, I think
ago.
These aren't always by accident, or you just lose your cool or lose a grip on your emotions. Sometimes these are calculated. I think even with Cal, it's almost like clockwork. At some point, usually early. Now this is too late in the year for him to get ejected. Earlier in conference play, I don't remember him getting ejected this year, but he generally always is usually on the road somewhere where he thinks he needs that extra lift. Or they got a good Italian restaurant that he can get to early. One or the other that he usually gets around. A place like Fayetteville, Columbia, South Carolina. Those are the places he normally works his way out of the gym early.
I remember that Rick Pitino was not. I think Bob Holt told this story that I think it was Jim Robikin that instructed his band members when Pitino would walk by to play
Jim
Robkin would play the Godfather music when Pitino would walk into the building to do that. I don't know if that's PC enough today to do that with Cal. Is Cal even Italian?
If that isn't an Italian name, okay. I don't know what one is.
I think so. I don't know if that would be. I would love it. I think it would be hilarious. Now, if someone would find a reason to say that's racist or something, but if he walked in the building, they played the Godfather music, he got thrown out or something like that. There's zero chance he gets thrown out again this weekend, right?
I mean, zero's a big number, but I would think there would have to be. I don't think it would be as planned this week, this late in the year, but that's one of the iconic. Come back to Bobby and I here before we go. That's one of the iconic images in all of sport. If you had to put a 30-second or a 1-minute highlight reel together of college basketball over the last 40 or 50 years, that image is somewhere probably in the first 10 seconds of things you note and remember from college basketball. Hey, don't miss any of the action with Dish and World of Wireless. Call them at 877-305-DISH. That is their number. Hey, they can get you installed before this weekend, even in the bad weather. Lock in your price for 2 years. Give you a $100 Visa gift card. Movie channels free for the first 90 days. And ask about voice-activated remotes. With a Google Assistant button on it, you can talk into your remote. It'll find the games or the channels, the actors or actresses you're looking for with the Google Assistant built in from World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH for WOW World of Wireless.
How about Devontae Davis's game last night? We'll talk about it coming up.
Follow the show on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine.
This is Dave Neal with ESPN. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Takes great work ethic to make any job last 10 years, especially one in the NFL. Hi, this is Brett Goode with Henderson Phillips. I spent 10 years playing in the NFL. Now I bring that same work ethic to Henderson Phillips to provide you and your business with the best employee benefit plans for the best prices. Call or text me at 479-651-2292, and let's talk about getting the most value for your employee benefits. I am Brett Goode with Henderson Phillips. Call me today at 479-651-2292.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
We're remixed and remastered at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Some of your favorite apps, drinks, and desserts are now even better the second time around. Check out the sizzling cheesy bacon mac and cheese bites, a blast from the past with a whole new vibe. Also back are the famous Fridays fried mushrooms and the ultimate cheesy bacon cheeseburger. And all new at Fridays is the Oreo Madness, house-made giant Oreo cookies with cookies and cream ice cream coated in red and white sprinkles, served with chocolate sauce and a fresh strawberry. Come by or order online. It's your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
It's time to stop searching and start driving. Between February 16th and March 7th, get $70 reward card or virtual account after online submission. With the purchase of 4 new Michelin passenger or light truck tires, including the Michelin Cross Climate 2 tire. See MichelinMan.com for complete details. Offer expires March 7th, 2022. Void where prohibited.
Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin and Southern Tire Mart.
Winter is actually a good time to paint. The paint store over here in Van Buren has the most popular colors on large sample boards so you can see the color in your home. Rather do some outside painting? Our low temperature application product allows you to paint down to 35 degrees. It's okay. Experience hometown customer service you won't get at a national brand and get free professional advice from our 34 years of experience. Come see Sue and her team at the paint store in Van Buren. Find us on the internet.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
It is here, fast, reliable internet from Wave Rural Connect. Cedarville, Uniontown, Natural Dam, and surrounding areas get fast fiber internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust based in Ozark, Arkansas. Internet starts at $49.95 a month, TV at $43.99, and phone at $29.95. Order now at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Do it now. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Farm Credit has been a trusted friend for over 100 years. They are ag financing experts. So whether you're a longtime farmer, new to farming, or buying your dream home or land in the country, their experienced staff has a plan to fit your goals, needs, and your bottom line. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
At Frank Rowe Furniture in February, already marked down low sale prices plus no sales tax. That's right, you heard it right. A sale plus no sales tax. For instance, a recliner regular $6.99, sale price $5.99. With no sales tax, $5.39. That's a savings of $160. Frank Rowe Furniture offers in-store no credit check financing, SNAP, and ASEMA financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch, dinner, and brunch. Open 7 days a week, both on the patio and cozy dining room. River City Bistro, locally owned and open weekdays 11 till 8, Saturdays 10 till 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
JD dribbles out front, guarded by Kawasi Reeves, crosses him over, takes him to the foul line, floater good, and one.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
Nate texted in this morning, and you're welcome to as well, 877-377-6963, that this is a tough basketball team. Eric Musselman talked about how no one plays harder in the country than this team right now, and you saw it on display last night. Going to talk more about this team's performance and an 82-74 victory coming up.
Hey, going to be a good weekend ahead to get to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, so particularly if we get iced in a little bit and you're looking for a place to relieve some cabin fever, 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge in downtown Fort Smith might be the place. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, they open at 4, close at midnight. On the weekends, on Friday and Saturday, 4 till 1 a.m. They got great live music. You can find the schedule and more details about what's going on music-wise on their Facebook page. And, of course, top shelf wines and liquors, the best cigar selection you're going to find, and a great menu from the kitchen that is going to have all your favorites. So stop in and enjoy 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Sample, indulge, and escape at 906 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith.
It's cracking up. Eric Musselman was making an NHL Calgary Flames connection last night. One of the things he talked about is the NHL playoffs. It doesn't matter if you win 10 straight. It's only matter when you win 10 straight in the playoffs. Here's what Muss had to say in the comparison last night.
We could have won that game in Bama. We were right there. We get, and that stings still. I'm not a big hockey fan, but Daryl Sutter with the Calgary Flames, he said it best. They're playing really well. And he said, I don't care if we win 10 straight unless it's in the playoffs. And so for us, it's just, you know what? We got another game coming Saturday against Kentucky. And how do we get ourselves ready to play another one-game series?
Oh, boy, do you. Kentucky Wildcats coming into town. That's always fun. You think about last time in 2020 when you played them, Cal got ejected. You end up losing the basketball game, but it was still a great game. Nevertheless, you beat them for the first time in Rupp since 2014 last year. Jalen Tate, if you remember, got poked in the eye, ended up knocking down 2 free throws, and you survived. Devontae Davis picked one off. But back to this game last night, there are so many takeaways you can have. I really liked what I saw from Jalen Williams on both ends of the floor. The first time all season, Tommy, I've actually seen him spin on his left shoulder laid up with a left-handed layup. I have not seen that. He's been on the block several times. He always goes right and just tries a baby hook on the right, but he finally turned and got a wide-open layup. I hope I see him do a little more of that.
15 and 10 last night. I think he's been working hard on the offensive game. He knows that's the one area. And he had a solid game. Was it his best game of the year? I don't know. I'll leave that for someone else to decide, but I know the guy he was responsible for had a game-high 29 points last night. So I would imagine when Jalen looks back on this game and looks at the foul trouble he was in and the limited minutes, and I say limited at 33, he had to play kind of limited in the minutes he did get, and particularly in the second half. He'd like to adjust some things from last night. But one thing Arkansas did not do last night that they normally do is shut down the opposing team's best players. And Castleton had 29 points, and Tyree Appleby had 19. That was kind of unusual because Arkansas's defensive plan, while Muss was clearly not pleased with the way they played the first half, I think worked in the second half, and it's evident by the fact that Florida last night in the second half made 1 3-point basket. I think they got out onto the three-point line better. He talked about that going in at half. But generally the defensive plan is to shut down the opponent's best players, and that's one thing that did not happen last night in the win.
Yeah, Muss said that he was okay kind of towards the end of the game with him throwing it inside of Castleton because he felt like the 3-ball could hurt him. I will say this. Did Tyree hit 3 of his first 4 3-point attempts? I know he hit his first 2. And then
Florida was 4 for 4 to start the game. They had their first 12 points on 4 3-point baskets.
Yeah, and I think
didn't miss one.
Appleby hit 3 of 4 to start out his performance, and I thought, man, this is just going to happen. He had 26 against Auburn. I thought he was going to go 20-plus against Arkansas. And For the most part, Arkansas could not contain him. He was 6 for 14, 3 of 9 last night. They did a little better in the second half, but that is just a really good basketball player that's worked his tail up. Now, I think him and Devontae played on the same team at Jacksonville. I was doing the timeline, at least a little bit of a stretch. Devontae is a sophomore. Tyree, I think, is a senior, if I remember that correctly. So I think there was a little stretch where they played on the same team. They were guarding each other a little bit last night, but that was fun to watch. I'll say this about Devontae Davis. All I heard from Muss all offseason when how he's been practicing his 3-ball, Tommy, didn't look like at the beginning of the season. Now it's starting to showcase itself a little bit. He hits 2 big ones last night and stepping up with 19 points. He's just really found himself and found his rhythm, found his role on this team these last few games.
Yeah, and coming off the bench hasn't seemed to bruise the ego enough. He understands the role. We need to see more performances, I believe, from like we saw last night from Devontae, both ends of the floor. We've talked about going to the next level for this team. You need another scorer to do that. Last night you end up with 4 different players. Hang on, make sure I don't miss 5 in double digits. Forgotten Amude in there with 11 points. That's the kind of distribution, and that's the kind of offensive attack you're going to need to be in a second or possibly third weekend. I think you've got to have somebody that can be in addition to the scoring, and I think Davis is the guy.
I think JD and Jalen have been pretty consistent. Stanley seems to have his better games on the road. Hopefully he'll have his better games in neutral atmospheres in Tampa, Florida, and wherever this team winds up in the NCAA tournament. If Devontae can have 10-plus in certain stretches, that would help you out as well. Got a text in here from Jeff in Fort Smith that said, Hogs basketball is a street fight every time. Really enjoyed what he saw. Yeah, you have to play with a toughness and mentality against these Arkansas Razorbacks. And I hope Kentucky is ready for what's in store for them come Saturday, because I know there isn't a ton of connection left over from that team 2 years ago. But there are some still holdovers from last year's team with Devontae and JD and Jalen, some other guys that went to Rupp, got that win. They know how important this rivalry is. Muss knows how important this rivalry is. But Tommy, I got a text last night that's saying how crucial that win was. I mean, for you to have that streak, for them to finally overcome it. And what Clay said yesterday, I think it holds true this morning. That last night might have been the most important game in this 4-game stretch, because it's technically, I know this sounds weird to say, but it's the easiest, right? I mean, I would say that maybe the LSU one is, but Kentucky's not. Tennessee's not. You could have a debate between the LSU and Florida, and I think that was just big for them on this 4-game stretch that we've been talking out with all quad ones to start out with a victory.
I'll pull up the net rankings in a minute, but going into last night, Florida was at 47, Kentucky is at 3, LSU 16, Tennessee 11. I think the point to last night's game is that's the loss that could hurt you the most in the net rankings, because everyone else you play is ahead of you. So losses to teams, in some cases 20 spots ahead of you when you look at Kentucky, aren't going to sting as bad on your resume. So I think last night's win was important from a net rankings. Everybody wants to talk about the AP poll and those rankings. They don't mean a thing. You can look at them and you can pump up your chest a little bit, but what matters is really what the committee's valuing most, and that's net rankings right now is the metric they're looking at. So last night, while the streak and all that's fun for fans to talk about, I don't think it meant a thing to Muss, because he's not responsible for what happened in 97 or 99, or just keep going back the last 14 trips to Gainesville. They couldn't win there. So it's very important that you won that game last night, so you didn't take any more damage in the net rankings.
Brandon from Paris with a good text. He said, Devo can drive you crazy sometimes, but he always packs the defense in his suitcase. Yeah, he gets after you. And again, the technical foul that he had for slapping the backboard, I don't think, and I could be wrong, there was a Florida defender behind him after he dunked the basketball, and he kind of leaned himself up so he wouldn't hit the guy, unlike he did against Wendell Green at Auburn. But what got him the technical foul last night was him emphatically slapping the backboard, and that's an easy call. And I think on Arkansas Under fans, I didn't see anyone that was irritated or mad that he got the tech on that. And Muss didn't seem too ticked off in the post-game press conference, because at that point they were up by 7. But you can't be doing that again against the likes of Kentucky, which I think will be another competitive ball game this weekend. I don't know if Arkansas will win this weekend. I just know that I'm really, really excited that Arkansas has won 12 of 13. And one of the reasons that they picked it up is not only defensively, but Tommy, we were talking about the 6 turnovers for this team last night. Florida's pretty good at forcing turnovers this season, but for Arkansas to walk in, and I know that at the Exacta Arena is not exactly the most hostile environment out there, but they just beaten Auburn. They are feeling good about themselves, and you came in there and executed on both ends of the floor, much better on defense in the second half, and ripped away what would have been a crucial win for that program. And Mike White, I know, is stewing still this morning that his team couldn't pull it out.
Yeah, you look at what happens, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I think it bears repeating, is the SEC standings, and now you look at where Florida falls to 7 and 8. There's games to be played tonight, but there was a whole bunch of teams, 4 different teams at 7 and 7 entering last night. Florida's now behind some teams that still have to play, like LSU, South Carolina, Mississippi State. Alabama improved to 8 and 7 with their win last night. Arkansas's all but assured a top 4 seed in this league. They need to win one of the last 3, like you said, to lock that in. But Arkansas at 11 and 4, Alabama's at 5th in the league at 8 and 7. They're not going to make up that ground over the balance of the games that are left. And Arkansas, if you deserve to be, should win at least one of the last 3 against 3 very tough opponents. But last night's win was big from that standpoint. You really give yourself some breathing room for that double bye in the tournament.
Again, put in perspective just for a sec, at 6:40 on a Wednesday. You start in this league 0-3, and now you are 1 win away for locking up a top 4 seed in Tampa, Florida for the SEC tournament. That is the turnaround that Eric Musselman has brought within this basketball program, and it's pretty remarkable. Colin Castleton last night, I'll say this about him. He can play. He's annoying.
He's a whiny player, but he's a good player.
Kessler, I still think, is the better one, and Colin, I think, had 18 and 11 against Kessler on Saturday. I don't remember Kessler doing anything that drove me insane, but Castleton was doing all these antics. Anytime I see basically a tall white guy, I always reference back to Christian Laettner, who is probably the most hated basketball player of any in college basketball history, right? And Laettner did all these things. Now, I watched the Fab Five documentary the other day, and it was funny listening to Jimmy Keene and Jalen Rhodes and Juwan Howard. It's like, I thought he was this, I thought he was that. I can't say the words that they said, but I thought he was that. And then he's like, then I realized when I got on the floor with him that he could play. You could say what you want about Colin Castleton and his neck, and it looks like an ostrich neck and all this other stuff, but that kid can play. He's just very annoying and whiny to watch, as kind of you said during the break.
I'm not a tactician but of the game, but his footwork just appears to be so good inside, particularly around the rim. But what just drove me nuts last night, I don't know if he does this each and every game, was he just whined and complained all night about Jalen Williams. Williams had 4 fouls, and some of those were just boneheaded plays by Williams. I thought the 4th foul on Williams was pretty sketchy, but the other 3 were just mistakes defensively by Jalen. The 2nd foul right before halftime, 93.5 feet from the basket, was just not a smart defensive play, and it was an obvious foul. So I think Jalen can learn a lot. He had a good night last night and another double-double with 15 and 10, but you could really break down several things that Jalen did last night to put himself in foul trouble, and he still played 33 minutes. And then you come back in, he takes a charge, or he comes in, there's a bang-bang charge play he gets, and then I thought maybe the play of the game from that standpoint was when Castleton, trying to draw that final foul from Williams, goes in, sticks the forearm and the elbow into Williams, and then he picks up a foul. So I thought that was a huge swing play in that game, and it was an obvious defensive or an offensive foul that Williams picked up.
I think he picked up 4 charges. I know he picked up 3.
I think it was 4 last night.
I think it was 4 last night. That once again, Jalen Williams' impact, I think he's up to 45 on the season.
Yeah, so good game from him, but I think there's still some things from the foul standpoint that he'll look at and say, don't need to be fouling 93 feet from the basket with 6 seconds left in the half. Hey, Bruce Stanton was in here yesterday. He brought us some Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogues. Can't wait to get back to the Norfolk or the White River and try these out for some trophy browns, some big rainbows. Now is the time to put that rogue in your tackle box. Even if you're headed to the lake, it will stay in the strike zone longer. It suspends, got that rolling action that fish love, and it attracts fish. So you can find the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops all over the place. No tackle box is complete without the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
I got a couple texts in here this morning talking about it feels like that Castleton shouldn't have been whining because he was getting about 5 or 6 seconds in the lane last night. And I know that last foul that Jalen had, Jalen looked at the ref and was doing the 3-second call, and then next thing you know, the ball's entering to Castleton. He ends up hitting that layup so that he gets fouled on. 877-377-6963, the number to call or text in. Our first call this morning goes to Charlie in Camden. Charlie, your thoughts on the victory over the Florida Gators last night?
Man, what a win. Going into, I called in yesterday. I told you guys I wasn't going to be upset if we came up short, but, this team just continues to impress me as far as their confidence and just, they don't go into any game thinking they're going to lose. And, a lot of it is just, we talk about defense traveling. I thought last night from the standpoint defensively, I don't think it was their best performance. Florida on the season, I think they talked about it during the broadcast, it's only like a 29% three-point shooting team. But there in the first half, they made some shots, and, we were there on some of them. I know Muss was disappointed, felt like we didn't, defend as hard as we could have in the first half. I thought, from a game plan standpoint, we let Appleby go right way too much. I thought that probably was on the scouting report. Don't let Appleby kill us going right, because that's definitely his strong hand. And I don't think we necessarily played our best defensively last night. But, that was one of those games where you got 5 guys in double figures and, where everybody's contributing. And from an offensive standpoint, you only turn the ball over 6 times on the road like that, and you're moving it, and everybody's involved and being productive and in the flow of the game. You're going to have a chance on the road. And I think Jay Will and Stanley Amude, both of their threes that they made were big ones. They were under 10 minutes in the game, and they both shot both of those threes with this huge confidence. And obviously JD's three, kind of the biggest one of the game. And then Devo Davis, man, he just continued. It's similar to last year, he's coming on, and it's like Muss said, he may not start for this team, but he really is the starter. He's playing starter minutes, and he's really starting to come on for this team and play really well for this team down the stretch when they need him most. And they're going to continue to need him. I'm proud of this team. I expect Bud Walton to be rocking Saturday. I can't wait for this game. Like, I'm already, the juices are already flowing.
Yeah, Charlie,
I got a funeral to go. To Friday, but to bury my granddad and all that. And I appreciate you guys for the support on that Monday when I talked about it. But after that, man, I'm all in. I'm definitely going to be ready for this game Saturday. I appreciate you guys, though.
Charlie will continue to think about you and your family, but you mentioned some of the things they didn't do right last night, and some of the things that I think Muss even pointed out in his halftime interview and defensively. And you're right, JD's shot with a minute to go was the biggest shot of the game. But all those things you said, I totally agree with, Charlie. But the deal is, when you're a good team, trying to become a great team, that's what you do. You go win on the road in a tough environment against a couple of good players with Appleby and Castle. You do those things if you're a really good basketball team. That's the expectation. You don't just fold up and go to the house and say, we'll try to get the next one. So Arkansas, while they had deficiencies and problems, found players that could fill those gaps and found enough to win. And Ty, that's what the good teams do. They find a way to win in those environments last night. When the chips are down, you're down 5 with 7 or 8 minutes to go, you find a way to make some shots. You find a way to get a stop. And the stops are probably bigger than the shots.
Yeah, they defensively, it's just night and day. I can't even begin to describe how different this unit is from last year. Excuse me, not last year, beginning of the season to where they are right now. All right, we're going to talk some more Arkansas basketball coming up in hour number 2 here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. But I do want to give you some headlines this morning. So talking about where the SEC standings are right now, Arkansas has the tiebreaker over Tennessee in third place at 11-4. Games tonight, Mississippi State at South Carolina, Ole Miss at Auburn, go Rebs, and then LSU at Tennessee. That's going to be a game that is going to hold a lot of the Southeastern Conference attention tonight. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, you want LSU to win. You definitely want LSU to win that game.
Yeah.
No question. But, boy, it just doesn't feel right to root for LSU and Will Wade.
Yeah.
That's where we're at tonight. You got to root for Will Wade.
You got to throw that out. Joe Lunardi is going to be joining us at 8 o'clock this morning. If you don't get a chance to listen, maybe you got to go to work or something, you can find it in our Bud Light Next Morning Rush podcast. Get an update on where Arkansas sits right now on his seed line and in his bracketology. Now, we got some baseball changes we got to tell you about this morning with the Round Rock Classic. Tommy, you and I were, I think, talking about this a little bit yesterday. They moved the game times up because of the weather.
Yeah, mid-morning yesterday, they moved them to 4 o'clock over the 3 days. So while we're getting probably the worst end of the front that's moving through, it's still going to be, you think about Austin, Texas, and down that way at Round Rock, that, hey, this should be clear of this winter storm far enough south, but it is not. And 4 o'clock will be the start time, trying to get them in. That's still late in the day, but that's what we're going to have. So that's going to affect some things here in our programming lineup, but we're going to bring you the game on most of these stations. You'll hear the games beginning at 4, so 3:30 airtime on Friday. We'll join the game after basketball in our post game on Saturday, then full coverage on Sunday as well.
Mobile sports betting has changed in Arkansas as of yesterday. So in 10 days, so I guess it's 9 days because 10 days yesterday, it's going to be happening right before March Madness. So we've kind of explained the setup of this. The Arkansas Racing Commission has approved it, but the retail location and casinos got to get 51% of the revenue from the partnership. So you wonder if DraftKings, FanDuel, all these other big-time, Bet Rivers, all these other big-time casinos out of state will actually make their way to Arkansas.
So it's not the offshore guys. Which we have partnered with several that work with us here. BUSR, Bet Online. There's several that those are offshore, out of country. The other ones, like in Vegas or other states, if they want to come into Arkansas with their app, you wonder, well, why can't I get the Caesars app or the DraftKings or all these things to work on my phone? Well, you're in a state that doesn't allow it. They want to come in and have your business. They got to partner with the licensed casino, being Oakland or over at West Memphis, to make that work. And most of them are not used to giving up 50. I don't know if it's profits or revenues. You'd written revenues, and I think it's 51% of the profits. And now that's a whole other discussion right there. Well, how do you determine what the profits are? Who determines what the costs are? So that's key in the wording there is as how the distribution of revenues go, not just the 51%, but how do you arrive at what 51% of what, and how does that math work? So I think what this rule will do is ultimately keep several, if not all, of the Vegas books and the DraftKings and some of the bigger names you've probably seen a lot of commercials for out of Arkansas, and really if you're going to bet online on sports, you're going to probably do it with one of 2 centers here in Arkansas that have the license.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of betting, Tommy, as we close out our headlines this morning, a woman named Maria DeChicas in Virginia gave her husband a lottery ticket for Valentine's Day. Are you a lottery ticket guy? My dad buys bucks and ducks, I think, is what he buys.
When it gets up to like $400 or $500 million, everyone's talking about it. I'm probably one of those people. I mean, who's interested in winning $30 million when you can win for $300 million, right?
Yeah.
So
he
this $30 million wouldn't change your life at all.
Yeah. He ends up. It's either he or she. They buy the ticket and they end up getting it. It turns out it's a $10 million lottery ticket. Now we always talk about the option of taking the full amount over 30 years, to the one-time cash option of $6,570,000 and $302 before taxes. That's the key, and they chose the one-time cash option because that's the way you said to do it.
Yeah, always. You always take the it depends on your setup, but yes, you always take that, and then like I said, after taxes, they'll probably walk away with a little over $3 million. That'll change more than just your year. That for some that would set you up for retirement. Depends on where you're at in life. Your age, you could probably, if you watch what you're doing, you could probably get by on that the rest of your life.
$3 million.
You watch what you're doing.
You know me. I'm a cheapskate. So
but when you get $3 million, you want to kind of live it up.
Spend it a little bit.
Hey, you live it up at Sassy's Red House and Sassy's Barbecue and Grill. If you're going to the game Saturday, stop in for a great meal before or after. Their award-winning smoked wings should always be on your list. The great brisket, the pulled pork, all at Sassy's original Red House on North College. And Sassy's Barbecue and Grill, Eric Musselman Live will be back there on Steamboat Drive next Monday for their final show. It's all at Sassy's. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
Somehow, some way, this team won sporting the anthracite uniforms last night. We'll talk about that more next.
Day 209 on the island. There is still no rescue in sight. I long for the simple comforts of home. The leather seats, the spacious interior, the 12.3-inch touchscreen display, and of course, the panoramic moonroof. If I could only gaze through it one more time.
Jerry!
What?
Stop talking about your Highlander and help me with the raft.
Frank seems more agitated than normal lately. Could it possibly be because he, too, misses my Toyota Highlander?
No, Jerry, it's not because I miss your Highlander. And stop acting like I can't hear you.
Yes, that must be it. Comparing his sad raft to my sleek-looking Highlander has finally broken him.
Just stop.
Experience the unforgettable 2022 Toyota Highlander for yourself. Visit your local dealer or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunity, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Hi folks, matchmaker Larry Rath here with a sweetheart of a deal from Rath Auto Resources. I'm on a mission to help you find the nicer, newer car of your dreams. So if the thrill is gone with your old ride, come see the best selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles we've had in over 2 years. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Just find the one you love the best and let our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do the rest. With discounts up to $4,100 below retail and the highest trade-in values ever, you'll be head over heels for the deals too. Gonna make it work with the car you have? Let us give it the attention it deserves in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. But hurry, this deal will be over quicker than your first crush. Start driving better today in a nicer, newer car you love from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Shelter Agent Phil Hicks about a free insurance review.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we are expecting to see widespread ice accumulation, especially across the north. We could see 1/4 to 1/2 inch of ice between today and tomorrow. Some folks could walk away with even more, lesser amounts across the south, but no matter what, we're going to be dealing with very slick roads. Temperatures in the 30s north, 40s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light Next, with 0 carbs and only 80 calories. It's brewed for what's next.
Here comes Appleby into the front court. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. It is over. The Razorbacks have beaten the Gators in Gainesville. The streak ends. The O-Dome curse is broken, and Arkansas wins it by a final of 82-74. Some are just a little bit sweeter than others, and this is one of them.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
I
hit the 7-iron like John Davis was 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just gotta keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
I don't know how, but this team actually won those anthracite uniforms last night. I thought those were the nail in the coffin type of things, but this team has shown that doesn't matter the streak, doesn't matter the uniform, doesn't matter the opponent. They're going to be a tough out, and we'll see what happens on Saturday when the Kentucky Wildcats coming to town, a top 10 team. Cal's got them playing well, but man, was it good to beat Florida for the first time since '95 last night. Can't believe it's been that long, Tommy.
Yeah, and big win. Now you've got 3 very tough games. It's hard to say that Florida, in the toughest stretch left in the country, Florida was the easiest opponent, at least by the numbers, and Arkansas escapes Gainesville with the win last night. Let's talk more about it. We're brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. They have immediate openings right now. Still looking for ready-mix drivers in Northwest Arkansas, Fort Smith, and in Harrison. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction, you want to be home every night, work with a great company that offers great pay, benefits, a sign-on bonus, treats you right. You're going to love this company. Apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group, they are equal opportunity employers.
22-6, 11-4 in conference. That's where Arkansas is right now. The turnaround has been remarkable. Here is Eric Musselman following the win last night, kind of what's happened in this winning streak.
Well, I think that when you play with the quick turnaround, you've got to be very clear, very concise with your game plan. You've got to make sure that you don't overload your team. I thought in the second half, we made it a little simpler than maybe what we did at the beginning of the game. Just something as simple as, hey, no more threes. Knock it off. If it goes into Castleton, we'll live with it. Play him a little bit more straight up. Don't help and dig and sag and spy on him.
I think they are now 11-0 in games that they have 2 days or less rest, and you were speaking to the game plan, getting enough content, getting enough just film sessions of the opposing teams and how other teams don't necessarily have the same when it stacks up to it. And Arkansas looked like outdid Florida last night. I'll say this, Charlie Camden's right. They did let Tyree Appleby get to his right too much. And again, it seemed like what Muss was saying, they were kind of just letting Castle and they were trading 2s for 3s. Arkansas hit, 2 or 3 big-time 3s down the stretch, and Castleton had his way at some points. But
Florida had 1 3-point basket in the second half.
1
of 9 in the second half after a first half burying 7, including 4 to start the game. I mean, Florida's first 12 points were all from downtown. So Arkansas had to get out on the 3-point line. The trade-off to that is when you're shooting 3s and they're going in, you don't get to the free throw line very much. Florida was only 1 of 1 at the free throw line in the first half, ended up with 18 attempts for the ball game. But, that's what happens. When the ball goes in from downtown, you're not getting fouled much either. And Arkansas probably saved some fouls in the first half, but fell behind early there. Battled back. It seemed like in the first 5 minutes of the game it wasn't going to be your night, but Arkansas made the defensive adjustments and, again, won second-half 3-point basket from Florida. I think you're exactly right. It's a simple way of describing exactly what happened. You traded 2s for 3s or 3s for 2s, however you want to look at it.
And how about Arkansas shooting 7 for 18 from the 3-point line? They shoot 85% from the free throw line. They're top 80 in the country in that category when it comes to making their free throws. Not only do they get to the line, but they're also starting to make them as well. And that's going to be big when they go on the road to Tennessee, when they play Kentucky this Saturday, who's a physical basketball team. When we get to Tampa and they get to the NCAA tournament, that is going to be a stat that we keep coming back to. Are they getting to the line like they've been doing? Are they making free throws? And if they're able to make 3s, it's not like they shot over 20. They shot 18. But if you make 7 of them, there's going to be a lot of games that this basketball team is going to win with a percentage like that.
And we've been talking about finding that extra offensive element. We've been talking about Devo Davis, 19 points last night. This was a team that battled foul trouble throughout the second half. Jalen Williams still ended up with over 33 minutes, nearly 34 minutes last night. He picked up his second foul right before half. They'd love to have had that foul, a little more breathing room to maybe give him a few more second half minutes. He took 4 charges in the game last night. Devo Davis had 4 fouls in the game. So Arkansas had to kind of tiptoe around some foul trouble throughout the ball game last night. Stanley Amude had 4 fouls as well. Devo being able to come off the bench and give you 28 great minutes, 19 points, picked up another 6 rebounds, and some timely 3-point baskets again was critical. If you're going to get to a second weekend and be in perhaps an Elite 8, or maybe the draw falls right and the shots fall when they have to, you're going to get to a Final Four. I think this team believes they're that good.
That's what JD told Marty Smith last night.
You're going to have to find another score. Last night you have 5 different Razorbacks in double digits. That's what a Final Four team looks like. The second half defense and the scoring they had for the 40 minutes last night.
And let me ask you this. Eric Musselman told Marty Smith that this team's playing with really good mojo. He also mentioned in the postgame press conference that Saturday is going to be the last game that he plays with the sleeve. Does he need to keep that on just for the streak's sake? I mean, that's what Andy in Mountain Home texted in. He says, Muss has to wear the sleeve until season's end, can't mess with the streak. Is that something that you think he would seriously contemplate? I bet he's itching to get out of that thing. For those who have had a cast of any sort or a sling, it's so aggravating. It's so annoying. So I guarantee you, as soon as he can get out of it, he's going to get out of it. But I also kind of
he has to wear it Saturday. But
he said the last game is against Kentucky. He has to wear it. So what if they win on Saturday?
I think if you win on Saturday, you take that baby off and listen. The rest of the way feels like if you can beat Kentucky at home. Doesn't the rest of the way feel like gravy at that point? I mean, I know we're greedy and we want them all. But, man, if you can beat Kentucky at home, no one wants to go in the SEC tournament losing 2 straight. But, man, that's going to be a sweet feeling.
I do wonder when we have Joe Lunardi on this morning at 8 o'clock, Scott texted in asking what do they have to do to get a 2 seed. Again, 3 quad 1 games remaining in the regular season, Kentucky, LSU, Tennessee. And right now, Arkansas, the number of the metric that matters is they are 23rd. They didn't move last night in the net rankings. If you win those games, and then you would play at least 2 more quad 1 opponents in the SEC tournament, maybe 3. So technically, the highest percentage of quad 1s remaining, you could have 6. Yeah. If Arkansas somehow, some way wins 5 of the last 6, if they got all the way or 4 of the last 6, how high does that get you? I think maybe splitting those is more likely. Maybe you win 3 of 6, or maybe you just get to the semis and you win 3 of 5. That's more likely. But that is a good question to ask. And again, you're talking about being greedy. I think Arkansas, I mean, they want to play in Dallas. They want to play in Fort Worth. The only way you're going to play in Fort Worth, as it stands right now, you're probably not going to be a 7 seed, is if you get that 2 seed, Tommy.
We'll keep an eye on the net rankings. They have not updated yet with last night's games. The ranking at 23 still stands. Those are only the games through February 21st. I would imagine there might be a spot or two, but you beat the team that's number 47, so probably not going to be much movement, but you got a chance to really do some great things before the weekend. Here's my question. Can you get to 25 or 26 wins going into the tournament? And we'll look at that angle and total number of wins through the conference tournament coming up. Big weekend of racing. Hopefully the weather cooperates at Oaklawn this weekend. The $1 million Rebel Stakes is coming up this weekend. Huge prep race in front of the Arkansas Derby. The final big local prep for the $1.25 million Arkansas Derby that's on April the 2nd. Also the $300,000 Honeybee is this weekend at Oaklawn. And weather permitting, the infield's going to be open with the new infield park that's been renovated and ready to go for this weekend at Oaklawn. Download the Oaklawn Anywhere app. Android or your desktop users can use bet.oaklawn.com. You get it in the Apple App Store as well. Use the promo code RUSH22 for a $150 sign-on bonus from Oaklawn. That's the Apple App Store, Oaklawn Anywhere from Oaklawn.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Got my keg in the freezer. We're ready to get this thing rolling and go Hogs, baby.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Ashley Air is a proud sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Heat up your home with a free furnace when you purchase a qualifying new system from Ashley Air. And till February 28th. Get no down payment, no interest for 72 months on qualifying systems. And the Ashley Air Quality Assurance Guarantee, their 12-year parts and labor warranty. Get a free furnace when you purchase a new system from Ashley Air. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your appointment. That's AshleyAir.com.
Hardworking simplicity and serious durability. That's the winning combination you get when you pair a rugged Workmaster utility tractor with a Dura-Disc heavy-duty disc mower, both from New Holland and Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas. You'll maximize the tonnage of your hayfield by slicing a clean, close swath up to 10 foot 4 inches wide, all while operating in confidence and comfort with a Workmaster tractor with high visibility all-weather cab. Stop by Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas today to learn about this unstoppable New Holland team.
Make your backyard dreams a reality this summer with an in-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas. Save $5,000 this month on select in-ground pools. And with payments starting at $290 a month, your own backyard oasis is not out of reach. Be one of the first 7 families to call and receive a free upgrade to a saltwater system, a nearly $2,000 value. Save $5,000 and get a free upgrade at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith and online at burtonpools.com.
When you want beer, you go to a bar. When you want top shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars, in an atmosphere benefiting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah?
Who's going to clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's going to mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's going to sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
You have a job, kids, and a million things to do in no time, and now your car needs to be serviced or fixed or tires? Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Free shuttle service. Pickup delivery service free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier and take better care of your vehicle at the same time. Hi, Kim Bircher. See, the thing is, Jody'sAuto.com does everything. Everyday oil change specials. Tires are price matched, including the warehouse clubs and all the best brands. Any services, brakes, alignments, all the way to engines, and any maintenance. You are trusting your vehicle to a local company in business for 37 years. Voted best of the best time and time again. Honesty and customer service is always our number one goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com. JODYS Auto.com.
Farm Credit has been a trusted friend for over 100 years. They are ag financing experts. So whether you're a longtime farmer, new to farming, or buying your dream home or land in the country, their experienced staff has a plan to fit your goals, needs, and your bottom line. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
We're remixed and remastered at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Some of your favorite apps, drinks, and desserts are now even better the second time around. Check out the sizzling cheesy bacon mac and cheese bites, a blast from the past with a whole new vibe. Also back are the famous Fridays fried mushrooms and the ultimate cheesy bacon cheeseburger. And all new at Fridays is the Oreo Madness, house-made giant Oreo cookies with cookies and cream ice cream coated in red and white sprinkles, served with chocolate sauce and a fresh strawberry. Come by or order online. It's your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Between the circles, gets a screen from Williams. Left side, back to Jay Will. Pick and pop, three is good. Williams with a three-pointer. Hawks back up by one.
Arkansas Game Day is live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback this Saturday, starting at 10:30. Phil Elson and Ty Richardson will have your pregame coverage, getting you ready for the Arkansas-Kentucky game. It's presented by WT Equipment in Springdale, Reed's Metals in Benton, and the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Jaden Hazelwood is apparently getting some mentions and some texts from Oklahoma fans about him being soft joining Arkansas, which I find kind of ironic considering where the Sooners play and where Arkansas plays in each conference. We'll talk about a little football here coming up and then get here with Brett as well and talk more Arkansas basketball later on.
Hey, no bigger Hog fan than Dr. Bo Sparkman over at Riley Farm Dental at 5901 Riley Park Drive. He loves his hogs. And listen, if you want to go to a dentist that is going to make you feel comfortable, make your kids and your entire family feel comfortable in each and every visit, this is the place, and they do all kinds of dental procedures right there, from the routine cleanings and 6-month checkups to braces, implants, even cosmetic work right there in-house at Riley Farm Dental. Make your appointment with a phone call to 226-3500. That's 479-226-3500, or see more at RileyFarmDental.com.
Jaden had this to say yesterday. Never understood how the OU fans call me soft when I literally joined the hardest conference in football and the toughest side. We're talking about the division. To be honest, sorry, not sorry. So it looks like OU fans are beefing with Jaden Hazelwood this morning on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. And I can understand Oklahoma fans being disappointed that he's going somewhere else and he's not staying a Sooner, but with Caleb Williams transferring to USC and Spencer Rattler going to South Carolina, I know that they just brought in Dylan, I think it's Dylan Gabriel's, the kid from UC at the lefty, but his future at wide receiver was uncertain, and I know as an Arkansas fan, you love to have him here, but it is kind of funny that Oklahoma fans are saying that he is soft for transferring to what is perceived and many believe to be a harder division, harder conference in football. I don't think you can really argue that at this point.
Lions don't worry about the opinion of the sheep, and that's what Hazelwood needs to think. I wouldn't even respond to them. I wouldn't even acknowledge their opinion. But let its play on the field speak for itself. Oklahoma and Texas both know they're vastly behind when it comes to being at a level that the SEC is going to require. That's one reason OU, and I don't think they wanted to change coaches and Lincoln Riley leave. But, hey, Lincoln Riley knew what he was stepping into. This is the Lions' Den over here. And, hey, Arkansas hadn't been one of those teams that have been at the top. Not trying to say Arkansas is ready, but Arkansas is further ahead of the curve than OU and Texas. We saw that on the field last year. That's why when given the opportunity to change coaches that Lincoln Riley forced Oklahoma into, they went with a defensive-first head coach. That was someone they knew, but they know what's coming. They know at Oklahoma they have got to get more physically ready. So any idea that Oklahoma is a more physical football team or they play in a tougher conference or any of that, that's just fan rubbish right there.
I know that we've talked a lot of basketball as of late, and for good reason, because this team's won 12 of 13 as they continue to win or lose. Doesn't really matter. We're going to talk about it because they're in basketball season. But I have got an inkling from certain listeners that they're getting excited from football. Baseball, we know, has started up. You've got the games this weekend that you're really excited in the Round Rock Classic. But football, again, we know football is keen in this state, and I know I'm excited to see what Jaden Hazelwood can do on the field, what Latavius Brini can do on the field, the transfer in from Georgia, what Drew Sanders can do on the field, the transfer in from Alabama, Landon Jackson, the transfer in from LSU, also Dwight McGlothern transferred in for LSU. So there are some guys that have come over, not just that are true freshmen like Isaiah Tatania, but also some guys in the transfer portal that you're really excited about. Football season seems like a lifetime away, but it's going to be here before you mow it. Spring practice is coming up. Then we'll have the summer stuff to talk about in fall camp. And I just, I was listening to Josh Page, 24/7 Sports. I think it was the mood tracker. The mood seems to be really positive and for good reason with what's happening with Sam Pittman's program in Fayetteville right now.
Yeah, and I think that the momentum, it just seems like campus-wide. When we're talking about probably, I don't think in question, the best recruiting class in basketball in your lifetime. And it could get even better. I mean, you're just seeing a lot of progress in a lot of areas. And I think there's just kind of a rising tide that's lifting all boats right now, and football seems to be caught up in that as well. With this schedule next week or next year, I don't know if you can advance on 9 wins or not, but if they do, you're going to really know you're on solid footing. And I think everyone already feels that way with Pittman. Their recruiting's got to catch up maybe with the performance you want on the field. I know losing the 1 4-star there at the end really kind of dipped the ratings, but I don't think that takes away from any of the other players you've added to the program.
Mm-hmm. Let's welcome in Brett Goode, former Razorback, former Packer. We got a lot of things to get to with him this morning. Brett, I know you're watching the basketball game last night. Just kind of give us a sense of what that victory meant. I know that Arkansas has not only struggled in Gainesville in basketball, but football too. How did it feel for you last night watching Arkansas achieve something that they haven't since 1995?
Well, it was great. You see what our football team did, and we had our record in bowl games in Florida, and our basketball team, we've always struggled down there. And so when you go down there and win a tight ball game, that's great for our ball club because we're not always going to be able to play Bud Walton. We know that moving forward into the NCAA tournament, so we've got to learn to win those type of games. Just coming out victorious, it was big for the guys and big for, just to keep the momentum going.
Brett, I wonder your vantage point on this. The 3 atmospheres up there in Fayetteville, Baum-Walker Stadium, Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium, and Bud Walton Arena. You got to play in one of them in 2006 and other years as well, and I remember how hyped that USC game was, and I guess that was that 07 or 06, Tommy, that they played at home?
USC game was 06.
Okay, that they played at home, and I know you got to be there for that. We've seen Bud Walton. I know that you've been to a game or two this season. We've seen Baum-Walker. In your opinion, what is the most, rank those 3 atmospheres at home for how deafening and how impactful they are for each program?
Well, for each sport in particular, if you saw Donald W., it's obviously loud and everybody's around. We saw the Texas game, the atmosphere around tailgating. Then you go to the Auburn game, and it's probably going to be more electric even this weekend against Kentucky. And I sat this last weekend. I sat at that the bases loaded, that new area that JB and John Hunt built, and it's phenomenal. And you think of moving forward with a regional and a super regional, to get that type of capacity into a stadium for each sport, it's huge because it's at the top of each sport. You have Donald W. probably doesn't sell out as many as some of the other stadiums, Happy Valley and all those other places, but like just the atmosphere around, and you kind of get that momentum going. And the crowd, the great thing about Arkansas is, we've talked about this. This is our professional sport. This is our professional team that everybody's backing them. And so it's almost like we have 3 professional sports that everybody can go attend. And when we're good, like we've been the last couple of years, it's even more exciting.
When you look at this basketball team in this season, a couple of things stick out to me. You followed up on last year, which you're still chapters to be written in this book, but it has not turned out to be a huge letdown this year compared to you went to the Elite Eight and it wasn't a flash in the pan. I guess you've defined that. Secondly, you lose 5 of 6, and I'm sure you've been in some spots where some rough stretches have come along, and then you turn it around. That, to me, what goes into that, Brett? Because that's the amazing thing about this team that lost 5 of 6 and now have reeled off 12 of 13. It's quite a turnaround within a season. In your experience, what does it take within the locker room and with the coaching staff to create an environment that's seen this kind of turnaround?
Well, it's great for the teams. Basketball and baseball, they're able to have these streaks like this and then kind of get on a roll and really take some momentum like that and carry it on into the playoffs and have a chance to make some noise. And that's what's great is you see the growth of our team. We've now locked down a starting 5 pretty much, and we've got into this rotation and we've kept it consistent depending on foul trouble and everything else that we're going through. And when we do have guys go down, that's what's been kind of spectacular the last few games. We've had some guys not playing minutes because of foul trouble, and other guys are stepping up, and they're making shots in that moment, and you can just see them feeding off each other, and that's going to be big going into the SEC tournament and going on to March Madness to try and make a big run.
Is it more special for you watching Jalen Williams, knowing that he graduated from the same high school you went to? Y'all are both Northside Grizzlies. Does that add anything to it for you watching him, knowing that y'all played at the same school?
Well, it's definitely special because anytime you can have somebody that comes from the same school and get to play at Arkansas, and then he's going to have an opportunity to go on to the NBA. We all know that, and it's special. It's a small group of guys, but Northside has still produced quite a few professional athletes, so it's special to watch him and see his growth. And then you see, the commentators last night talking about, how big he is and how he can dish the ball off like a point guard, and he would probably have more assists in every game that he's played if some guys made some shots. So he's able to pass the ball around. He's unselfish, and that's the type of guy that you want on your team.
Brett Goode with us here on the Morning Rush. Brett, the gambling law that got approved yesterday, it's going to happen 10 days right before March Madness. Now, you played, I don't know if gambling was a big issue back in kind of the early 2000s, but I wonder from your vantage point and perspective, playing in both a college and professional locker room, is that going to seep in to college sports where you might see some players and coaches being involved that the NCAA doesn't want to see happen whatsoever?
I don't think so. Look, we've all known somebody in our family or, distant cousin that's had a bookie. I mean, it's been around for so long. The people that go out to Vegas, I think that, if anything, the NIL changes that a little bit, but it's going to be more money to the sport, and it's going to grow the sport. We all know what fantasy football did to the NFL. It really made that sport, just kind of take off, and now you're going to, make it more accessible for people to make some bets on these March Madnesses. And you're making it legal now, so you're actually going to get a little bit of revenue, taxes probably from this. So I think it's great to continue to grow it. Just hopefully people are doing the right thing. And, if you don't have the money to do it, hopefully you're not spending your electric bill on it.
Brett, the 2 big quarterback storylines have been about your former teammate Aaron Rodgers and then Tom Brady. I want to ask you this. Tom Brady announcing his retirement. There's rumblings, there's thoughts that he could be coming out. I know Mike Florio thinks if he does come out, he's going to be playing for San Francisco. Is he done?
It's such a hard deal. I mean, you look back at what Brett Favre did, and nobody wants to go through the offseason right now. Look, especially when you've played 22 seasons, you're going into the 23rd. Aaron's going into his 18th season. That's a long time to be sitting and grinding out these off seasons when you know what you're doing, you know how to keep your body right. I don't think Tom's done. I think that he's getting that bitter taste in his mouth to go out the way he did. I think he's ready to come back, but that's all going to be a family and a personal decision, health-wise, to see how his body feels, kind of as he recovers through this process. And so it'll be interesting to see. I think Tom will probably be back. If not this year, he may be back next year. That's the crazy part.
Aaron Rodgers is a friend of yours from your playing days in Green Bay. What is he going to do? I know he's he's kind of sent out some cryptic tweets and whatever. What are you reading into this right now?
He's an interesting fella. I love him to death because he gets on yesterday. He talks about his 12-day cleanse, and I don't know if you guys have read in that Pancha Karma cleanse or whatever. It's pretty intense from what I read, and I think he's the same position. I think that at the end of the day, his best chances to get back to a Super Bowl is probably through Green Bay. They're going to have to figure out some cap stuff. They've got a lot of issues they've got to work through. But again, why does he have to come out and say anything right now? I think that's just he's not going to come out and just really go. I think that we'll know something by the draft. But I think, again, he wants to play and he wants to try and win another ring.
Is he a guy that likes to send out a tweet and kind of stir things up and create drama? Is that him, or is that a misread on what he's doing here?
I think that's a little bit of a misread. Buddy John Kuhn said on his radio show in Wisconsin yesterday, talk about, Aaron, doesn't have any kids, doesn't have anything. This is right now in the off season. This is where you're sitting around going, okay, what are we going to do? What's going on? What can we do? And he, he likes his 4 fingers of scotch, and so he gets on there and writes a little bit, and it's all about love. And then you read into it and go a little deeper, even on his photos. There's one photo when he was out with COVID. Devontae and Randall left his spot there on the field. And I think it's just emotional as you kind of get through the season, knowing that, the teammates are not going to be there, and there's going to be parts and pieces that move with each team. And that's, there's a lot of love and family and brotherhood that you go through that time. So it's tough.
When you go through a tough breakup, which he's been through, you pour your little scotch. Sometimes your fingers get carried away with the phone, I guess.
That's true, and I don't know if you caught it yesterday. So there's a lot of rumors going on that she was there. Or there's girls laughing in the background. So I mean, you just never know, and I think that's part of the way that he's trying to live. Is I wouldn't want my whole personal life to be on display as much as his has been, and every celebrity like that. And so you don't really get a closed personal life. So if you can kind of mess with the media a little bit, it's all fun and games.
Yeah. All right, before you go, I want to talk to you because we'll be talking a lot more about this, but just a quick thought or two is we're just a few weeks away from spring practice beginning, going through the off-season workouts. What's kind of going on behind the scenes from your experience with Razorback football that is just under a month away from spring practice beginning?
Well, this is where you want to see guys, really take that next step. You want to see if they've really hit the weight room hard. We know there's going to be a lot of them that have. You want to see that growth that they've had and just coming together as a team even more. Offense and defensive line, we know that's where it starts in the SEC, and that's going to be a big key is, or can we protect KJ, and can we, keep our running game going and vice versa on the defensive side? Who's going to take those places, those spots, where we've slacked a little bit, get pressure on the quarterback and be able to, maybe get some sacks and control the run game to take the pressure off our linebackers and our D-backs on the defensive side. So it's going to be very interesting to see this growth moving forward.
Looking forward to those conversations coming up in early to mid-March as spring practice less than a month away here at Arkansas. Brett Goode, former Razorback, Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. Brett, now you're the specialist when it comes to taking care of employee benefits. Tell everybody what's important right now is going through renewal processes for some businesses, looking for better deals in the marketplaces for many others.
It is, and it's really trying to, just getting things, even on the short-term, long-term disability, getting those companies to fight against each other to get you the best rate, and trying to make the best, get a game plan for the best benefit package for your employees and trying to get some new ones. So it's a tough market right now, but, anywhere 2 to 2,000, and, we even have some 1099 programs for a lot of companies out there that do that as well.
All right, employee benefits, health insurance, staffing, management solutions, even personal and commercial insurance. Brett can help you with any of those items. 651-2292 is his number, 479-651-2292. Stay safe out there during this winter blast, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Good stuff from Brett as always. Now, Super Bowl happened. I don't know if you guys or gals caught this story about Van Jefferson, wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams. So his team wins the Super Bowl, and he was told on the field that his wife was going into labor. He jets off to the hospital and ends up having another child. And he told this story on the Adam Schefter podcast where it wasn't always picked. He's talking about the name. They were thinking about Win, thinking about Miles, but they just won the Super Bowl, Tommy, so he elected to go with the name Champ after a Super Bowl win, which I thought was kind of cool. Now, you and Lauren aren't trying. You and Lauren aren't trying for another kid, are you?
I believe that
that ship sailed.
That has been taken care of by the doctor.
Have you got? So you're snipped.
Absolutely.
Okay. I think I couldn't remember if we had talked about that or not. So that being said,
thank you for bringing it up.
Let's say that you hadn't had that Thursday and Friday where you're just sitting there with ice, where, and you still we're trying.
The
for
NCAA tournament is a popular time of the year for that procedure.
That it is, and you're trying for another kid. Would you you have 2 daughters and a boy? First off, would you rather have a boy or girl if you had another kid?
Healthy. That's all I care about.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. Second, boy or girl, do you have a name or names that stand out?
I've taken Ty off the list.
There's
especially
only one
the one
Ty.
with an E.
There's only one Ty out there.
Reason why.
Don't get
no. I think you've got to be in that mode to really get that part of your brain fired up and going.
Okay.
So,
do you think our listeners out there have maybe they're in the course of a pregnancy, or maybe they haven't decided yet, or maybe they're thinking about names? You're welcome to text in 877-377-6963. I was named after my grandmother's maiden name. Her name is Ellen Ty. That was the last name, and that's where I was named after. And I guess that would have been my great-great-grandpa. Is that his last name or whatever? I believe that's correct. But it is funny to hear these stories about, hey, this is how I was named. Sometimes it's like a real sentimental story, and then sometimes it's just like Van Jefferson. We just won a Super Bowl. Kid's name's Champ. Wife's okay with it? Bet. We're going with the name Champ.
Hope she likes it.
Yeah. I'm of the belief.
I'm assuming that was a boy.
Yeah. I'm of the belief. I always wonder, like, if there's like a friendship or something. Like, you never want to. You tell me this. Did you know what Dylan? Did you know what Abigail? Did you know what Taylor? Were they friends? Like, how did those names start?
Well, I mean,
come to a conclusion.
When I was born, you didn't know whether it was a boy or girl till you arrived. So now you know, weeks or months in advance. So you got time to think about it and plan on it. Can you imagine? I guess you could. Back when I was 46 years ago, I guess you had one name for a boy and one name for a girl picked out, and that's what you did. But just today, I guess you have a working list.
So did Laura decide his name's Dylan, her name's Abigail? How did that go?
Had those picked out. We had like some options. I don't remember what the other option was at this point for each, but yeah, I think we picked some names out weeks in advance.
Okay, I didn't know if that was one of those things where you had like done one of those things where when he and she came out, it was just like that's what we're going with or whatever, or if you. I have one.
I mean, you're not going to have to worry about it because you've been very clear on this show that whenever that time comes, you're making all the decisions. You're 100% in control.
Too, of course,
all of those things. So, I mean, all the pressure will be on you.
All right, so I've got a list of guy names. Knock on wood. Not that I wouldn't love a daughter.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, but I don't need a daughter. I say that. I have good karma with women, so I'm a big believer.
How
do you have good karma with women?
Well,
when's the last time you had a girlfriend? Third grade?
You're nearly 30 and single.
Over the course of my life, I've been very respectful. As my old roommate used to say, his favorite phrase was treat women with respect. And so, that being said, when I say I have good karma with women, I have known a friend or two that's been a womanizer of sorts, and I do not fall into that category. So that's where I say that I have good karma with women. That being said,
if that's your definition, then okay.
That being said, knock on wood.
He doesn't have many dates, so that makes him good with women. I got it.
If that's the criteria, then I'm a saint. I deserve a halo around my head.
Knock on wood that I have a son at some point, because this lineage, this name needs to continue on under myself.
I guess you're the last one, aren't you?
I got a brother, so he could pass it on as well. But here
we're rooting for him.
Yeah. Here, you tell me if you guys like these names this morning. With watching Yellowstone, I just really like the name Rip. Could you see me having a son named Rip Richardson? Does that fit?
1 P or 2?
Just one.
Just one
Is
P?
he spell it with 2 P's?
That'd be a good nickname. I think I just use that one for a nickname.
Nickname?
Yeah.
What about Buck? Does that work?
That's more of an old-timey name.
Yeah, that's not modern.
I had a great Uncle Buck.
I
think of Uncle Buck,
Yeah.
the movie.
You think of Uncle Buck?
Yeah.
I say Buddy.
He'd be a fun uncle, too.
I say Buddy probably more than any person on the planet, and my buddies say, as I just say buddies, as my friends say, you're going to name your kid Buddy because you say it so much. Is Buddy more of a dog name, or does that fit as a son name?
That's a dog's name.
It's a dog name. Dawson? Does that work?
I like Dawson.
Do you like
that
Dawson?
name? Yeah.
Is that the one we're going to go with?
So, how about Dutton? You like Yellowstone? How about
I'll go with
Dutton
Dutton. Casey Richardson. That work?
I like just Dutton.
That could work either way.
Dutton Richardson. All right, bet.
You could. Hey, Dutton Richardson sounds like someone that would go to the White River
and
at Gaston's
fish.
White River Resort and be a hero. I mean, be a legend. I mean, that sounds like a legendary name. Hey, I know the weather's kind of up and down right now. It's kind of the time of year where you may start the day at Gaston's all bundled up, coats, 4 or 5 layers on, and by the end of the day, you're down to like 1 layer and a T-shirt or whatever. Going to be that kind of weather for a little while, but it also means great fishing for browns and rainbows and those big browns right below the Bull Schultz Dam. Let's get after them. Gaston's is the place. Ask about winter rates when you stay 2 or more nights and book that guided fishing trip with their expert guides at Gaston's. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and he promised when he went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
8,000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Spring crappie season is not far away, and Jelco Outdoors is stocked up on all the fishing gear you need for the spring season. Timmy Tom jigs, Redneck Rubber, and Bobby Garland baits, K9 fishing line, Todd Huckabee rods, Shimano, Lew's, Zebco, and Abu Garcia reels. Just arrived, the all-new JB3 American-made rods. Get ready for spring fishing at Jelco Outdoors, your store for work and the great outdoors. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Jim's Razor.
Do you remember the joy you felt as a kid about pizza night? Remember how good it smelled? You could taste it even before you opened the box. And then, that first bite. It was so good. Be the supper time savior. Order Jim's Razorback Pizza now. 434-3456. The best pizza in Fort Smith, or it's free.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Wrapping up the name conversation real quick. Tommy, you'll appreciate this. Griff in Fayetteville texts in, says his son's name is Troubadour from George Strait and the Turnpike Troubadours, and he goes by Troob.
Troubadour is the best of all the great number one hits. Troubadour's my favorite. It's number one on my chart.
And he says he has a buddy whose son is named after Jordy Nelson, the former Packer, calls him Jordy. So a couple good names this morning. Weston Seagraves, Texas, texts in. He says his son's name is T, like T. Martin, the golf tee,
Okay.
except he named after the golf tee.
Could name somebody that was part of that game in '98. So.
Yeah, that's a little difficult to get past a bit. All right, Arkansas gets it done last night, 82-74 inside of Gainesville, the exact arena. J.D. Note, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, also 2 block shots. Eric Musselman in the locker room after the game.
Nobody in college basketball is playing better than you are. Not one team. Not nobody. It ain't even close. All right, we got to get ready for Kentucky. Here we go. Hey, count down 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, dogs.
Oh, dogs, Tommy.
Well, one thing is you won't have trouble turning the page on this game. He'll have their undivided attention this morning when you got a team like Kentucky coming into your arena. Hopefully there is no winter weather that will keep the crowd away. I'm sure Calipari, and then we're doing some kind of snow dance, sleet dance, something to maybe block I-49 in the tunnel coming up to Bud Walton Arena. They don't want that atmosphere to be what I think will be better than Auburn. If the roads are clear and you can get 20,000 there, they'll be there and they'll make a difference. You'll have no trouble if you're Musselman and this staff getting over last night's win. Kentucky will quickly get your attention and sober up this team and get focused on this game Saturday.
Hopefully the one snowplow in this state is ready to go up and down.
Yeah, and again, we've made this point before after the Auburn game. I think it bears, again, you got just an extra day. You had to travel late last night. Playing that game on a Tuesday versus a Wednesday ahead of a game like Saturday, that extra 24 hours is valuable, no question.
And how you just put it this morning, I think is perfect. After a win like that, when you break a streak that's been so prolonged and you think, oh, is this team going to have a lapse or a hangover? Nope. It's Kentucky, baby. This is what you live for if you're an Arkansas Razorback basketball player.
Did this team care about that long streak of 14 games dating back to 95? Was that, I don't know that Musselman or this team even care or value that stat. I think it's something we talk about because there's, none of those players, none of those coaches have lived it. We've worn it as fans when you played Florida. So,
yeah.
But to us, I think it's a big deal to the fans. From listening to Musselman, I don't think that's a big deal to him at all.
Because he was just 0-1. I think they played back in his first season in Gainesville because I think Florida came here last year, if I remember that right. So, yeah, big win for Arkansas. And then the fun, it's getting started this weekend. If you're trying to go to North Little Rock and Dickie Stevens for the UCA-Arkansas game, you can purchase tickets as of yesterday at Travs.com. They have GA6 tickets starting at $15, reserve tickets at $20, and the box seats are $22. You didn't have this game last year. Or was it because of COVID?
And, you didn't have a season in 20.
And then COVID last year. So I think some Central Arkansas baseball fans are going to be making their way to see the Bears take on the Razorbacks.
That's always a packed house there. I mean, they'll fill up the outfield berms. They'll fill up every seat. Central Arkansas has always shown up, and the weather's generally been nice. They've always shown up well, regardless of opponent for the games at Dickie Stevens.
Razorback women fall last night to Ole Miss 70-62 in Oxford. They had a rally, but it came up just short. Baseball notes. We just mentioned the tickets for the UCA-Arkansas game. Baseball notes this weekend. Time of the game times have been moved up to 4, so we'll have a lot of pregame coverage beginning on several of these stations at 3:30 starting Friday.
Yeah, and going to kind of settle into some – might all be at home listening to the radio at that point. But, yeah, even the winter weather we're getting here and freezing rain starting to fall in various parts of the state, it's going to affect baseball down in Texas this weekend. So they moved the games up to make sure it's really not too cold at the end of the last game.
Sam Munson, Pro Football Talk, has said that Traylon Burks may have the highest upside of any position at the draft. Might try and get Sam on at some point to kind of diagnose what he thinks about the former Warren Lumberjack and I say former, you're always a Razorback once you run through the program. That's what Drew and Phil were telling Moses Moody last week. I think that was a good way to put it. That's going to do it for Hog Update. It is brought to you by Mr. Sparky this morning.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Tommy, I want to read this story to you this morning. A Louisiana man told police that he was sleepwalking during a burglary. Now, you probably got some excuses over the years as a manager or boss, but when the police arrived after being contacted, this guy allegedly admitted to breaking into a truck that he had gotten into, but told the officers he did so because he was sleepwalking.
I would need to probably get a medical letter on that. That sounds like something you would try to get your way out of jail on, but I don't think that's going to work. Now, I have heard of people, you go to these apartment complexes and every door looks the same, and someone going or trying to get in the wrong door, or actually going in the wrong apartment where someone left the door unlocked and falling out on the couch at what they think is their buddy's place, and the people that live there find this stranger on their couch. That I can see how that can happen. I've never sleptwalked that I know of, but I can't imagine sleepwalking to the point you break into a vehicle.
Yeah.
Good try, but I'm not buying that one.
And on those stories, I would say 80 to 90+% of them, alcohol is involved in those.
100%.
Maybe 100%. The instant...
And maybe other stimulants might be involved in addition to alcohol.
Yeah. I had a couple friends that had an experience like that. And
But you ever gone to one of these, and you don't live there, but your buddy lives there, and you're trying to find
they look the
6E,
same.
And they all look like 6E, particularly after a few 12-ounce curls? I mean, I could see how someone could get confused in that kind of setting.
I did
Wrong
that,
condo, sorry.
I did that in my dorm room. And
yeah, it all looks the same.
Woke up in the wrong room, wrong bed, and realized that my dorm was about 5 down the hall.
Yeah, that's what led me to get to Washington County Detention Center the first week of college, is that exact type of thing. Now, I'll say this, whenever I go somewhere that I'm not as familiar with, out of Fayetteville, out of Fort Smith, out of Little Rock or something, I'm staying, for example, like Tampa this week, I always take it easier in a place that I'm unfamiliar. And when I say easier, I don't drink as much because I am.
Well, it'd be Monday through. I mean, you're going to be there during the work week, so
work
I mean,
week,
we know
course.
that
it's not going to.
Maybe one
happen.
Mr. Pibb during the week, but that's it.
Yeah, but on let's say something.
Boy, he'd be a lot of fun to travel with, wouldn't he?
Just during the week, of course. But I'm still a good company. Just I don't have to drink alcohol to have fun. Tommy, do you? I hope that's what it sounds like.
It makes it more fun when you do drink for us to have fun with you. Yes,
fair.
It takes the edge off your personality.
That is fair a little bit. Yeah. Take the top off a little bit. I'm fun to be around regardless. That's why I have friends all over the state,
saying
all
that
over
to
the
yourself.
place.
And gosh darn it, people like
here's
Stuart Smiley here.
Here's the thing, though. I will say, and I think most people would probably say the same way. When you are somewhere that's an unknown or foreign place to you, probably and take it easier and stuff because you don't want to end up. Like you're saying, it's one thing to do that when a place that you know or a neighborhood that you might know another person or do. It's a completely other thing to do that out of state or out of the country.
You want your lawyer to be a local call, not a long-distance call if you get in trouble.
That's a situation.
I think that's always a good policy to have. If I'm going to get in some trouble, let's not need a long-distance call to get a hold of my attorney.
Yeah, I don't really feel like calling the bail bondsman again ever in my entire life. I think that's a one-time. Ending up in not jail, but a detention center is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that I never, ever want to have again.
What's the difference between detention center and jail?
I don't know. I haven't been in either.
The jails have a
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
The drunk tank's a lot different than an actual jail cell. I can promise you that.
Yeah, we'll see if when your son brings that excuse in about 20 years.
It's probably gonna happen.
How you feel?
Old
hey,
Dawson.
temperatures are cooling down right now, but at Wheels RV, deals are still red hot. We've got a lot of great places right here to enjoy in the natural state. You can do it in style from Wheels RV. They've got great prices on a great selection and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. See Lee, J, Chris, the entire crew today at Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Joe Lunardi, ESPN bracketologist. Joey Brackets joins us next. Make sure you stay tuned for that. If you miss it, you'll find it in the Bud Light Next Morning Rush podcast.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Day 209 on the island. There is still no rescue in sight. I long for the simple comforts of home. The leather seats, the spacious interior, the 12.3-inch touchscreen display, and of course, the panoramic moonroof. If I could only gaze through it one more time.
Jerry!
What?
Stop talking about your Highlander and help me with the raft!
Frank seems more agitated than normal lately. Could it possibly be because he, too, misses my Toyota Highlander?
No, Jerry, it's not because I miss your Highlander. And stop acting like I can't hear you.
Yes, that must be it. Comparing his sad raft to my sleek-looking Highlander has finally broken him.
Just stop.
Experience the unforgettable 2022 Toyota Highlander for yourself. Visit your local dealer or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It is here, fast, reliable internet from Wave Rural Connect. Cedarville, Uniontown, Natural Dam, and surrounding areas get fast fiber internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust based in Ozark, Arkansas. Internet starts at $49.95 a month, TV at $43.99, and phone at $29.95. Order now at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Do it now. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Hi folks, Matchmaker Larry Rath here with a sweetheart of a deal from Rath Auto Resources. I'm on a mission to help you find the nicer, newer car of your dreams. So if the thrill is gone with your old ride, come see the best selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles we've had in over 2 years. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Just find the one you love the best and let our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do the rest. With discounts up to $4,100 below retail and the highest trade-in values ever, you'll be head over heels for the deals too. Gonna make it work with the car you have? Let us give it the attention it deserves in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. But hurry, this deal will be over quicker than your first crush. Start driving better today in a nicer, newer car you love from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch, dinner, and brunch. Open 7 days a week, both on the patio and cozy dining room. River City Bistro, locally owned and open weekdays 11 till 8, Saturdays 10 till 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we are expecting to see widespread ice accumulation, especially across the north. We could see a quarter to a half of an inch of ice between today and tomorrow. Some folks could walk away with even more, lesser amounts across the south, but no matter what, we're going to be dealing with very slick roads. Temperatures in the 30s north, 40s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
You're listening to the Morning Rush live from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3 KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
Here comes Appleby into the front court. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. It is over. The Razorbacks have beaten the Gators in Gainesville. The streak ends. The O-Dome curse is broken, and Arkansas wins it by a final of 82-74. Some are just a little bit sweeter than others, and this is one of them.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just got to keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
I got a good segment coming up for you in hour number 3 of a What's Your Beef Wednesday. Joey Brackett's, Joe Lunardi, ESPN bracketologist, is set to join us in just a sec. Also, if you have a beef this morning, you're more than welcome to get it in. 877-377-6963.
We were talking about online wagering earlier in the program. Hey, you don't have to wait to make your online plays. You can do it now at busr.com/morning rush. That's the place to go. They got bracket contests with thousands of dollars in prizes. If you like movies, how about getting in on some action with the Oscars and the Academy Awards? BetUS Racing has everything you're looking for available at busr.com/morning rush. They have a sports book, race book, live casino. Bets are safe, fun, and most importantly, secure. So if you like blackjack or getting in on some of the sports games that you like watching, go to busr.com/morning rush. Go to that page and sign up right now as a listener and get an exclusive 100% deposit bonus. That's a 100% deposit bonus. So if you put in 100, they'll match 100. Put in 500, they match 500. Just go to busr.com/morning rush. busr.com/morning rush. Bet with confidence. Bet with BUSR.
ESPN bracketologist Joe Lunardi here with my favorite number 1 seed, the Morning Rush.
Really excited to welcome in Joe Lunardi, ESPN bracketologist, into the Morning Rush. Joe, you currently have Arkansas as a 6th seed in Greenville. Joe, do you see similarities from the streaking Razorbacks last year to this year's team that's won 12 of 13?
Yeah, I mean, how can you not? It's so important to be playing your best basketball at the end of the year, and they've certainly done that. This is a team that a lot of folks were high on early. Preseason, et cetera, and maybe stumble might be too strong a word, but we're inconsistent in the non-conference portion of the season. But they've definitely kicked it into a higher gear now, and everybody seems to be healthy for one thing, and back and together. And could we be looking at another second weekend kind of scenario? Absolutely.
One of the things that we often debate, especially with Arkansas this year, the Hofstra, the Vanderbilt loss at home, but then they beat the likes of the number one team in the country, Auburn. How does the committee stack up great big-time wins versus horrible losses like Arkansas has both of those?
Remember that the committee is really 10 individuals. So three or four people might lean this way and 2 or 3 might lean another way. I don't think there's ever really one direction. I mean, every once in a while you can pick out a trend or a metric or something that seems to really be applied universally to every team in a given year by the committee. But what we're really saying is, do we think 10 people are going to come to the same conclusion about a certain team's season? And the answer is probably not. But over time, what we can say is generally your best wins tend to help you more than you're hurt by your worst losses. Unless you just have so many of those bad losses that they stink up the whole resume. Right?
Yeah.
And that's not the case with Arkansas, at least in my way of looking at it. I think their really good wins are more than enough to overcome the stumbles. And, because of that, I think they're going to get a very attractive seed. And they could go a little bit higher here. I don't think they're going to make, top 3, but who knows? Maybe they don't lose any more games. And then we'll see.
What's the ceiling, in your opinion, of this team? Could you forecast how high this team could actually get on the seed line?
Yeah, I think, I suppose if they win all of these games and then win in the SEC, like that would be probably another at least 6, maybe more quad 1 wins, right? We'd be talking, maybe a 2 seed at that point. The number of teams, though, that win 6 or 7 consecutive quad 1 games is, pretty small. I think they're called maybe Golden State or the Lakers. I could say their ceiling is they could be they could win every game from now until April 5th and be the national champion. I mean, somebody's going to win on April 5th or 4th, whatever day it is. And why not Arkansas? But, I have to deal in the realm of the probable. And, they're probably going to be right about where they are because they're probably going to do something close to splitting all these quad 1 games because that's what teams in their situation typically do.
Joe, the SEC won the Big 12 SEC Challenge. Is the selection committee going to look at that when ranking the conferences and seeing where the SEC stacks up?
I don't know this for sure, but I would bet that outside any committee members who work in those 2 leagues, that any of them even know what the results were. The way the committee breaks down its duties is each committee member is assigned at least one, a couple conferences that they're the primary observer of. Like they're the ones that, are the go-to voice when that team comes up for discussion. So, who's ever monitoring the SEC, who's ever monitoring the Big 12 is probably pretty aware. But, let's see, the last two teams on the board are, I don't know, Oklahoma and Florida. Okay? Mm-hmm. A Big 12 and an SEC team. Is who did what 6 weeks ago really relevant in the aggregate to those two individual evaluations? The committee would say, no, it's not. And that's why I don't think it comes up.
I got a chance to go to Indianapolis last year, experience Bankers Life Fieldhouse, experience Hinkle Fieldhouse, experience Lucas Oil Stadium, and it was incredible. Even at 25% capacity, Arkansas fans made the trip. How excited are you just to have the NCAA tournament back in full force this upcoming season where fans can max it out at 100%?
Well, selfishly, I'm very excited because the East Regional is in Philadelphia, which is so that's certainly a plus. I mean, look, they're called spectator sports for a reason, right?
Yeah.
They're meant to have spectators. And I thought the quality of play, the competitive level, the excitement of last year's tournament, given everything that we went through to get there, including, of course, the postponed tournament the year before, made it special. But we're going to get a nice big helping of what makes it really special this year, and I can't wait.
I can't either. And you as a St. Joseph's grad, one of my favorite memories was Jameer Nelson and that squad back in the day. My brother's name, Joe, is Joseph, and so we latched on to that team back in the day. Now, I've never been to Philadelphia, Joe. I've got one of my really good friends here in Arkansas that is born and raised there. He moved to Arkansas in the natural state in high school. Let's say Arkansas winds up getting past the round of 32 in the first round and makes it to the Philadelphia Regional. Where do Razorback fans need to go for the Sweet 16 Elite Eight? Get some good grub around there.
Wow. Well, I mean, you're in Philly, so you got to do the cheesesteak thing, right, for lunch. And then the downtown restaurant scene, both, red meat and seafood, is phenomenal. You want to do the riverfront area, the University City area where Penn and Drexel are. We know how to do adult beverages. And even down by the arena, there's a Xfinity Live complex, which has got sports bars and restaurants. I think they would be able to wet their whistle and fill the hole in their tummies pretty well.
Selection Sunday just around the corner. Joe Lunardi, ESPN bracketologist. Joey Brackets, kind enough to make some time for us this morning on the Morning Rush. Thanks, Joe.
You bet. Thank you.
Good conversation with Joe Lunardi this morning. We're going to react to that in just a little bit. Coming up, also get into What's Your Beef Wednesday as well. I think Arkansas fans would like to continue to monitor where Lunardi has you in the NCAA tournament, and he's got you decently high at this point. I think he continued to climb with 3 regular season quad 1 games remaining. We'll just have to wait and see. Spring camping season is almost here, and Razorback camper sales are ready for you. Not only do they have a huge selection of travel trailers, fifth wheels, and pop-ups, but they also offer full prep and setup at no extra cost, so you can leave the lot and start camping immediately. You'll have access to the best parts and service departments in the state, and it's the oldest family-owned RV dealer in Arkansas. They've been in business for over 50 years. It's show season, so go see them this weekend, February 25th through 27th here in Hot Springs. It's the Boat and RV show. Again, Razorback camper sales. So what did you think of Lunardi, Tommy?
Kind of laid out the path and kind of what he saw as the ceiling. Just in full disclosure, they didn't include last night's game when you had that conversation with him. So, we'll see how much adjustment that makes. But I didn't really get the impression that getting to the to the 2 line. It's really a pretty narrow, if any, path for that. So.
I think it's one of those things where if you want a 2 seed, you got to probably win out. And that's 6 games, excuse me, my bad. 6 games, win an SEC championship, that gets you a 2 seed. That's the narrow path that you're talking about. I can't see a scenario where they get it any other stretch, because that was the question last year. Could you get a 2 seed if you keep on trucking? And they got to the SEC semifinals, losing to LSU narrowly, and you wondered even if you'd won the SEC championship if you had gotten a 2 seed. In my opinion, the only way you get a 2 seed is if they win out. That's my opinion. That doesn't mean it's right. That would give you 18 of 19 wins down the stretch. Yep, because you're at 12 right now, 12 of 13. You win 6 more. That's right. So, yeah, that would give you 18 to 19 wins against a lot of quad 1 opponents, and that would put you at least – you'd have 3 more quad 1 wins, because you got 4 right now, so it'd put you at 7, plus at least 2 during the SEC tournament. That's 9, maybe 1 more, it's 10. You'd have a 10-4 quad 1 record just to monitor. But we'll keep talking bracketology as the season progresses moving forward. But if you do have – I want to go and get into What's Your Beef Wednesday. If you do have a beef this morning, feel free to text those in, 877-377-6963.
What is wrong with you? Okay, I want to complain. I'm complaining.
I want to complain about complaining.
I want to complain.
It really pisses me off today.
To simply listen to people whine and complain.
I'm angry. I'm spitting angry. I'm like a tornado of anger, swirling about. My heart rate is dangerously high right now.
I'm complaining because not enough people tickle, hug, or smile.
I'm so mad I could eat ball bearings and crap BBs.
It's time for What's Your Beef Wednesday.
I'll let you kick this off this morning.
Well, I mean, I'm just looking down the stretch of college basketball, and I guess my beef to a degree is it seems like everybody's just on edge right now. We talked about ejections earlier in the ball game, and everyone's emotions are so raw, and the nerve endings are frayed right now. That's my bit. Keep your cool. I mean, keep your powder dry right now. Now's the time when you're in this last 4 or 5 game stretch of the regular season. Arkansas's down to 3 games, a conference tournament. Keep yourself relaxed, chilled a little bit, because the tougher games are still ahead. So we were talking ejections earlier in the show. Everybody's nerves are on end right now. Everybody's tired of the grind. Everybody's tired of the travel, the weather, all of these things. How you fight through it these next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then you get it's like getting a B12 shot. The NCAA tournament comes around, that's like getting a B12 shot right in the butt. It just, straight up, you get just jacked up with energy and emotion. Save it, though. Have something in the tank. So everybody just needs to pump the brakes a little bit right now.
This will be one of the most anticipated NCAA selection shows that you've had in quite some time. Last year you ended up, but you knew where we're going. Like, think about this year. Mm-hmm. This year, last year. Everyone knew you were going to Indianapolis. You just wanted to know what seed, what teams you were going to play. You ended up getting a 3 seed, and you made it all the way to the Elite Eight and lost to the best team in college basketball, the Baylor Bears. This year is going to be even more anticipated, because not only do you want to know what seed line you're going to get, but also where you're going to end up. I mean, we've talked about Indianapolis, Fort Worth, San Diego, Buffalo, Pittsburgh. I mean, there's places all over the map. And so you're going to have a lot of Arkansas fans that they see that city, flight, go, vacation, go. Got to get that thing going. It's going to be fun I guess it's not, you got 2.5 weeks. Is that right? Till Selection Sunday?
Be
3.5
weeks from Sunday. So here's another thing that's annoying me right now in sports is that everyone's projections, and I still has Alabama clearly ahead of Arkansas, and LSU still way up there in the seedings. I know Alabama beat Arkansas head-to-head, but who's playing better basketball right now down the stretch? This is another one of the things when I look at, and listen, Lunardi gets a lot of these right. Now, whether or not you're going to Buffalo or not, we'll figure out. But he'll be within a seat or two of where you're actually supposed to be when his final bracketology comes out. He's almost spot on to this stuff, but I still can't understand where you look at the league standings, who's won or lost the games, and I understand all of the quad 1 games that Auburn's played right now, but not looking at net rankings, just looking at seedings, and I know that's a big factor in what the committee's looking at, but do you still like the fact that you see Alabama in a lot of people's projections ahead of the Razorbacks? That kind of grinds my gears a little bit.
Go to Alabama's net rankings in their quad 1 games. Haven't they played? There are
7-7. They played a lot of them, 14. And they've won half of them. Their net ranking is at 22 this morning after last night's games. Arkansas did not move. They stayed at 23. Florida was number 50 going into last night. They dropped to 55 after losing to the Razorbacks. The Hogs haven't played as many. They played 8 quad 1 games. They'll have a chance. I think they'll leapfrog Alabama at some point, not just in the net rankings, but also in people like Lunardi's opinions. But that kind of grinds my gears here on What's Your Beef Wednesday, that Alabama, in a lot of people's opinion, is a seed or two ahead of Arkansas. I'm not buying it at this point.
I'll say my beef is from last night. You were talking about Colin Castleton complaining to the ref. He also was very flamboyant and demonstrative every time he scored. And I get some guys are just like that. I kind of compared it to Christian Laettner a little bit earlier. All you Arkansas fans probably hated Christian Laettner, Cherokee Parks, all the goobers that have gone through the Duke program. And last night, Castleton, anytime he scored, and then there was that and one he scored on Jalen, he put the small. Jalen's like an inch shorter than him, and he's doing like that. He's a small fry down there. It'd be one thing if you did on Chris Likes or JD Notte, but Jalen's an inch shorter than you, and Arkansas ended up winning the game. This guy's neck looks like an ostrich neck. I swear that's the longest neck I've ever seen on a basketball player in my entire life. And he was smack talking the whole game, complaining to refs the whole game, sitting in the lane for 10 seconds the whole game. Couldn't get a 3-second call on him at all last night.
Quit griping about 3 in the lane. Nobody wants 3 in the lane.
You do it for Arkansas. Yeah, you absolutely do. Just couldn't get a call last night. Just those sitting there in the lane. Goodness gracious. But yeah, Castleton was a. Is it a rule or not?
Nobody calls 3 in the lane. How many 3-second in the lane calls have you seen, particularly the ball's not
They should have called him last night because Castleton was building the fire down there in the lane, but this guy was just over the top.
Is 3 in the lane?
Did I say it was my game plan for winning?
I mean, you're griping like
I'm not the one that was coaching the
game.
team. It wasn't just me. It was Muss. It was Jalen. It was the coaching staff.
They should stop too, because 3 in the lane is not a way to win the game.
They just shouldn't call 3 in the lane anymore. They should let Castleton, all 7-footer, just sit in the lane as long as he wants to.
You don't have to go anywhere to defend him. You know right where he's at. So
it's a college basketball rule. You're always talking about rules.
It's a rule at every level in basketball, other than the NBA, where it's defensive 3 seconds
or defensive 3 seconds. But I mean, you're always one that's harping on rules, and now you want to ignore them?
Okay.
That sounds like
I don't want to hear one dadgum word out of you if they started calling it like 10 times a game. You'd be okay with that? Well, it's a rule.
I mean, I just want to call on the other team. I just want to call on the other team.
He didn't get the ball in there. Just calm down about that.
Said he didn't get the ball in there? What?
Why stand? I mean, if he doesn't have the ball, what advantage is he gaining? Until the ball comes in, what advantage have you really gained?
Sitting in a lane and gaining post position? I mean, do you know what basketball's about?
Yeah. If you're not moving, you're easier to defend. Until the ball comes in, no advantage has been gained.
If you
I know
if you're
plenty about
gaining
it.
position, Tommy, in the lane, and you have a much better attempt at a layup the closer you are to the rim, a lot of times
how are you going to lay it up if you don't
up.
have the ball? That's my point. If you don't have the ball, until the ball comes in, what advantage has been gained?
You're getting closer to the basket and allowing yourself a better attempt at a shot. That's elementary basketball.
You cannot shoot it unless you have the ball.
That's very valid.
That's
but
my point.
You're getting closer to the rim, which gives you a better
sounding like
attempt.
the fan sitting up in section 112. 3 in the lane. 3 in the You're better than that. You're stronger than that.
I'm just doing what Jalen Williams was saying, what Musselman was complaining about last night.
Yeah, and then he picked up his 4th foul, pointing at 3 in the lane, got out of position.
Which you said wasn't a foul.
I didn't like that call.
You said it wasn't a foul.
I didn't like it at all. Hey, we're brought to you by Matchstick Studios. Hey, everybody's going to be on the phone, looking at websites, Googling stuff, looking for different services, new businesses, just checking stuff out because you're going to all be locked up at home. Is your website ready for new leads, new business, new contacts here these next few days? Well, be ready for the next winter storm and all the storm of new business with a great-looking website for just $95 a month from Matchstick Studios. Don't miss this boom in winter traffic this week. 479-755-3043 or see what modularorange.com can do for you with Matchstick Studios. 755-3043 or modularorange.com.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is Coach Muck, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Make your backyard dreams a reality this summer with an in-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas. Save $5,000 this month on select in-ground pools. And with payments starting at $290 a month, your own backyard oasis is not out of reach. Be one of the first 7 families to call and receive a free upgrade to a saltwater system, a nearly $2,000 value. Save $5,000 and get a free upgrade at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith and online at burtonpools.com.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
We're remixed and remastered at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Some of your favorite apps, drinks, and desserts are now even better the second time around. Check out the sizzling cheesy bacon mac and cheese bites, a blast from the past with a whole new vibe. Also back are the famous Fridays fried mushrooms and the ultimate cheesy bacon cheeseburger. And all new at Fridays is the Oreo Madness, house-made giant Oreo cookies with cookies and cream ice cream coated in red and white sprinkles, served with chocolate sauce and a fresh strawberry. Come by or order online. It's your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Don't you just hate that? Sitting in a tire store waiting room while your car's being serviced? That's the last place you need to be with work and kids and the 10 million things you need to be doing. Well, don't. Free shuttle service. Pickup and delivery free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Hi, Kim Bircher. 3 locations, 1 in Van Buren and 2 in Fort Smith. One stop. We do everything. So you don't have to go from place to place for tires or service or repairs or maintenance. We are local. 37 years and voted best of the best time and time again. We will pick up and deliver or shuttle you so you don't have to waste your time. Honesty and customer service is always our #1 goal. We will make your life much easier at Jody'sAuto.com, JODYS Auto.com.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Chapel Ridge Health and Rehab in Fort Smith is hiring dietary aides, CNAs, and LPNs all shifts. Chapel Ridge Health and Rehab is a newly remodeled 5-star rehab and long-term facility. Full-time positions qualify for benefits such as medical, dental, 401k, and vacation. Chapel Ridge Health and Rehab wants you to become a Chapel Champ team member today. Please apply at Chapel Ridge Health and Rehab, 4623 Rogers Avenue, or fax resume to 478-1014. That's 478-1014.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
For a limited time, Art's Barbecue and Burgers is serving up some great combo platters with all your favorite choices from Art's. Ribs and brisket, catfish and brisket, pulled pork and brisket, plus catfish and ribs. And you can add a hot link, sausage, or 2 tamales to any of the combo platters. Make your combo plate any way you want it to be. And don't forget, every Friday night is all-you-can-eat catfish at Art's. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. Real smoked barbecue.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. with Ty Richardson and Tommy Crabb.
Williams with a basketball, right of the circle, underneath Tony. Kick out, Note, one dribble, step back, three-pointer good. Note with a huge bucket, he's got 20. Hogs are up by 4 with a minute to play.
Have you listened to Trusting the Process on the Hit That Line podcast network yet? Check it out on hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, we got some things to get to in this segment, including Eric Musselman talking about Devontae Davis, not just last night, but this season as well, how he stepped up as a basketball player, found a role on this team. But first, Tommy, we got somewhere to go to on the phone lines.
Yeah, Larry Rath Auto Resources, getting ready for the winter weather. It's carbine weather today, Larry.
It's always carbine weather at Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. And, been watching that basketball team, really impressed with the way they're closing out games. That's what we're doing over the next few days, right? We got to close it out. We've got a lot of cars to sell, folks, which means you could save some money, get extra for your trade, get a big old discount. I was looking through the inventory a couple of days ago. We've got several cars over $6,000 back at retail. We've got one that's $14,000 back at retail. Folks, you can save some real money on a big inventory. Cars, trucks, SUVs. We've got the ones you're looking for. We got them value priced. You cannot pay too much. You're going to save some money. You're going to get extra for your trade. And when it comes to financing, nobody does it better than Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. We've got those banks and lenders lined up. Folks, if you've got great credit, we've got those guys fighting for your business. If you've got less than perfect credit, we've got guys fighting for that piece of business. We can help you with your financing, get you going, and a payment and a price that you can afford in a nicer, newer car from Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Big news in Springdale, we've got Mitsubishis in stock. We've been sold out 3 times over the last couple of months. Folks, we've got them in stock right now, the all-new redesigned Eclipse Cross, the new 22 Outlander, which is fantastic, the new Mirages, it's a brand-new car back at $20,000. If you've been shopping cars, folks, what a bargain that is right now. So we've got some terrific things going on. We hope you'll come and see us. Give us a call. Go online. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Check us out online at rathauto.com.
All right, Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith and in Springdale. Larry, bundle up and stay warm, and we'll talk to you on Friday.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. Folks, come and see us.
So I'm really excited about this game Saturday, Bud Walton Arena. Tickets are going to be through the roof expensive. If you have season tickets, I would bet that you can either make a good chunk of money or you're in for a great game this weekend. And how the game plays out could affect your bracketology. We'll see what happens. We just had Joe Lunardi on, him talking about the remainder of Arkansas season. If you missed it, you'll find it in the Bud Light Next Morning Rush podcast. Jeff has phoned in from Fayetteville, home of the Purple Dogs. He's got a question about bracketology. Jeff, go ahead.
How
man.
are you guys doing?
Good, buddy.
Well, one, I'm probably more Clay's age. I was at the 69 game, and President and I think Representative Bush walked within 10 feet of me, and now they put them in boxes, and Frank stuck them on the 30-yard line. And but we know we're not going to win out. We always do well with the 4 seed or better. What do y'all think, and I'll hang up, to get to a 4 seed?
A 4 seed? It's a good question,
Jeff. I think that's within play. I think beating Kentucky on Saturday. I think you want to get your net ranking, which is 23 after the win last night. I'll be interested to see if you can win at home against what is, I believe they're still number 3. Let me double. Yes, Kentucky is still at number 3 in the net rankings. Would that get you inside the top 16? I think to be a top 4 seed, you obviously want to be somewhere, in that top 15 range. So look for that. I think you got to beat Kentucky probably to rise to a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, this is a big win for a number of reasons come Saturday. All y'all hate Kentucky basketball, and for good reason, whether you hate Cal, whether you hate Pitino, Delk, Walker, you name it, you hate them. And, as Tommy just laid out, this is a really good basketball team. Number 3 in the country as it stands right now in net ranking. So you could be boosted exponentially if you beat the Wildcats. These haven't been updated. You're at 23 right now.
Well, these are through last night.
They did update them?
Yeah,
okay,
through last night.
We said earlier that they weren't updated.
No,
so
they are this morning. You didn't move. So
yeah.
these are through the games on the 22nd.
Okay, so they're updating. You're still at 23, and again, a lot of places you can climb. Like Tommy said, Tennessee was just on the 3 line in the latest NCAA release.
They moved up 2 from 11 to 9.
Yeah, and so that being said, you just beat the Vols. You got a chance to beat them again in Knoxville, so you have an opportunity ahead, and that's what this great team. We talked about how tough the schedule is, blah blah blah. Most of these fellas are like, look, we got Kentucky coming in our house. We got LSU, who's a highly ranked net team. We've got Tennessee, who's in now the top 10 of net rankings. Those are a lot of chances for them to fly up the seed lines, and on top of all that, get a better seed in the SEC tournament in Tampa to even improve their rankings even more if they can win a couple games down there in Tampa, Florida.
All right, so Kentucky's at 3, LSU at 17 this morning in net ranking, and as we said, Tennessee at 9. So that's the balance of your regular season. Ton of opportunity right there. You win those 3 games, I like and go win a game or 2 maybe in the SEC tournament. I don't even know if you have to do that. I don't think you have to win. I think you are a 4 seed at that point, but that's asking a lot. I don't think you have to do all that, but I think that's asking a lot. Hey, check out one of our newest podcasts. We got several new ones, but one of them is Coffee with Counsel. You can find at hitthatline.com. Tons of cool things on there. If you're going through a family law issue right now, whether it's custody, divorce, visitation, paternity issues, or you got a business contract law matter that's pending right now for you, there's free legal advice there for you with Coffee with Counsel and some fun sports conversation as well. Brad Hall or Kevin Hickey would love to talk with you in one of their office locations in Fort Smith or in Northwest Arkansas. Those phone numbers for that consultation in Fort Smith is 479-434-2414. In Northwest Arkansas, 802-6560, or find out more online at artriallawyers.com. That's artriallawyers.com.
When we come back, we're going to tell you what happened last night outside the Arkansas and Florida game, plus looking ahead at some games tonight and how they're going to impact the SEC standings moving forward.
Arkansas's
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and he promised when he went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Analysis of your roof and work with your insurance company if it needs to be replaced. So call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother to inspect your roof.
Are you looking for a new place to call home? Whether you're looking for an apartment, duplex, townhome, or a house, Trinity Multifamily has you covered. They even have options in surrounding states, from Texas to Michigan and Kansas to Tennessee. If you're looking for a new place to call home, make Trinity Multifamily your first call at 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about. A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to AshleyAir.com to request service today.
Let's get into some scores from last night as well as some games today in the SEC standings as well. Right now, Auburn still holds the #1 slot in the Southeastern Conference. Kentucky's at second at 11-3. Arkansas and Tennessee both winning yesterday, tied at 11-4. And then Alabama is at 8-7. We mentioned this earlier. Tommy, all you got to do is win one of these next remaining 3 games. You've locked up a top 4 seed in Tampa.
I kind of think you have already because of the way the math works, but you're right. You mathematically you want to control that, and no one wants to limp into the conference tournament with a 3-game skid. So you got 2 at home, a very tough game with Kentucky, as we know that everybody hates Kentucky and wants to beat them. But you get LSU, so you just need to win one of these. I think going to Tennessee to close the season is going to be. They're going to have their stinger out for you.
Tennessee did beat Missouri last night in Columbia. A&M beat Georgia at home, and then Alabama survived on the road in Nashville against Scottie Pippen Jr. and Vanderbilt. They won by 2. Those were the games last night. Tonight, the big one, LSU at Rupp Arena against Kentucky. Kind of like you were saying earlier, you kind of want Will Wade and company to win tonight, kind of, sort of.
Absolutely. You'd love for you hate to root for Will Wade, but that would help you in the conference standings.
Yeah.
So if your goal is to close in on the 3 seed, now we've talked about game times. The 3 seed gets the late game on that Friday. That's Friday, may not bother you, doesn't bother me because We don't have to do a show Saturday morning, but, and that's probably better when you think about it from the standpoint, but is that where the team wants to play? You got to rest all day. You got to wait around. I don't know. They can only answer that question, but the 3 seed kind of gets the short end of the stick. Now, you're opposite the 1 seed, so you wouldn't have to play Auburn potentially in the semis, so just kind of pick your poison at that point.
I think Arkansas has a chance. Let's see what happens tonight between the Wildcats and the Tigers, but if Kentucky loses tonight, and kind of like
Auburn may not be the 1 seed. That's right.
we'll have to wait and see. Auburn would have to drop 2 more games in order for you to be tied with them. You'd have to win out. We'll have to wait and see what the Tigers do. Mississippi State plays in Columbia tonight against South Carolina. Ole Miss travels to Auburn. I bet that Auburn picks up that win. But again, the game that you want to watch, Kentucky, LSU, Rupp Arena, 8 o'clock on ESPN. That's a game that I'm going to be locked in and watching tonight. Hopefully we don't have any weather issues with our television based on the slate. And that's supposed to start, what do we say, about 9 or 10 o'clock this morning?
Depends on who do you believe when it comes to weather.
Point.
I mean, that's the thing. So it varies, but I've even heard some reports this morning already of some freezing rain here and there, but it's worth keeping an eye on today, and I think tomorrow's going to be a challenge for a lot of people. And I know River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, a lot of kids are already on AMI days, where you do your work at home deal. So glad they didn't have that when I was a kid.
I got a text this morning from a University of Arkansas student that they had already canceled classes today. Let me read this. U of A campus will be closed today. Online classes will continue as scheduled. Now, you were talking about just your kids having the online stuff to that. I enjoy it. I would say if you're going to school or think about wherever you go, University of Arkansas or wherever, take a combination of in-person and online classes because you still want to have a collegiate experience of meeting people in class. But those online classes, Tommy, as you're finding out, they can be easier and less time-consuming than having to go to class, get ready, and do all that jazz.
If you're disciplined enough to do the work and you can comprehend something one time or, I don't even know, do they even do books anymore? I mean, a lot of my kids' stuff is on the school-provided computer. I mean, I'm sure colleges still do things because it was like $1,000 a semester for books, so they're not going to give up that money.
My dad hated
or more
books
than that. There was when you had to buy a $300 textbook, and I'm going back. I graduated college in May of 2000, so I'm 22 years out. $300 for a textbook? Are you kidding me? So I'm sure they're not giving up that money in the bookstore still. But, I mean, I don't think I would have been disciplined enough to get it all done in a time. I'd have got it done, but it would have come with some procrastination. That's what I'd have had to been forced by a deadline. So I still like to visually learn in person.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Better. You want the social aspect, but I just want to get the job done too.
Yeah,
I need my C- so I can move on.
I mean, you've worked with me for about 3.5 years, and I'm not really a procrastinator. If something needs to get done, I write it down and check. I'm very. I don't know, it's not AD or ADHD, but if I have it written down on my planner, I will not leave work without crossing it off. And so I was pretty disciplined about that in college, where if I had online stuff, it was just like class to me, I'd do that. But for some, it just kind of depends how you're wired and how your nature. But again, classes at the U of A are canceled as of day in person. The online ones are not. And like Tommy was saying, it's not probably just in the Fort Smith area, but all over the state, they'll have that online learning for students across probably elementary, high school, middle school, and wherever.
When it's like snowed a 3 weeks ago, whatever, early February, one of my kids' classes, the teacher had a mandatory 9 a.m. Zoom meeting that I think they figured out. I was here at the station, but they figured it out at home about 11:30 that morning. They'd missed it. But what are you doing, a 9 a.m. Zoom for your kids when they're out it's snow day? We're sleeping in, That should be the other rule to this. State mandate. You can't do these Zooms before at least 11:30.
11:30.
Yeah.
Do it later on in the day. I guess I don't know what was so valuable.
It's a 30-minute deal. I mean, what are we doing?
Oh, it was that long?
30 minutes. Not 3 hours. It was 30 minutes. Why would you want to do it at 9 a.m.?
I think probably the teacher just wanted to get it out of the way.
They just wanted to get it and be able to, as you said, check the box, move on, count it as a day's work, move on.
Wouldn't that you couldn't flip that around for students and parents too? They get it out of the way and then they can have the rest of the day.
I think anybody wants to get up and be on the computer at 9 a.m. when you're 12 years old? No, you want to sleep in.
I guess I just have, man, I mean, you know this. Once we wake up, how we do. I haven't slept in I don't know how long. And sleeping in.
I slept in till 7:15 the other day.
Sleeping in to me is like 8:30 or 9 o'clock. It's just changed a little bit.
Yeah, so still a snow day when there's actual snow. I don't know how much snow we're going to get here. We're going to get a lot of ice and sleet, but, kids should still be able to go out and build a snowman at some point on a snow day. That's what we're going to do at my house, at least. All right, that's your SEC update. Brought to you by Ashley Air, proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics. Heat up your home through the end of the month with Freeberry. Get a free furnace when you purchase a new system from Ashley Air. Till the end of the month, no down payment, no interest for 72 months on qualifying systems. And the Ashley Air Quality Assurance Guarantee, their 12-year parts and labor warranty. Get a free furnace when you purchase a new system only from Ashley Air. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your appointment. That's AshleyAir.com.
Margot from Mina texts in, says, Devontae Davis played his best game ever last night. I've been worried about him a little bit. He didn't seem very confident, but last night he cut loose and have some fun. He hit that opening three and just started smiling. Here was Muss last night after the win talking about the Jacksonville native.
Changes us all together. I mean, he had 19 points, 7 to 10 from the field. Again, another game where he hit 2 threes. He made his foul shots going 3 for 4, led us in assists with 4. Most impressively, 0 turnovers. I mean, he played, 28 minutes with 0 turnovers to 4 assists, plus 11 while he was in the game. He was our second highest plus-minus guy, along with Jay Wills, plus 15. So I thought he was outstanding tonight.
Yeah, Devontae Davis did it scoring, hit 2 big-time threes. You talk about a guy that looked like he's really working in the offseason on his jumper. I know that he still doesn't have the highest percentage. I think it's slightly over 30%, but it seems like every time he hits a 3, it's a clutch one, Tommy.
And the team, I don't know if this says more about Florida's defense or if it says more about Arkansas's ball handling, probably a little of both. Arkansas only had 6 team turnovers last night, and Tony was the most with 2. So, I mean, everyone did a good job of handling the basketball last night. So, you need to see more of that. I think that's a key down the stretch is Arkansas, they have become better at handling the ball as the season went on. You look at that 6-game stretch where they lost 5. Turnovers were a big part of that. They've had games where they pushed 20 or more turnovers at times. That's not a winning formula at this point in the year, and they've got that under control right now.
Several guys in double figures, 5 to be exact. Audice got to the free throw line. He didn't still have his best shooting game. He goes 3 for 9 last night. I think that puts him for like 6 of 23 in his last 4 games, something like that. But he's starting to, again, be more confident. I saw him, there was a possession where he had 2 or 3 offensive rebounds and drew a foul. So you like the effort he's still putting forth. But they're starting to spread the ball around a little bit. This team's passing it better. They shoot it well from the charity stripe last night at 85%. They outscore Florida in the paint 38-32. There's a lot of areas where Arkansas outplayed Florida last night, and that was on display. Again, that 24-12 run to close out the game was the nail in the coffin for the Florida Gators.
And you look at the free throw percentage, you just stated it at 85%, but is 17 to 20 enough? And I mean the 20, is that enough? I mean, I think Arkansas probably like to have 7 or 8 more attempts at the free throw line in a ball game. The 85's good, but you look at Florida, they shot 100% of their free throws, made 100% of their free throws in the first half. Problem is, it was just 1, and that's an indicator of how well they shot from 3. 7 of 16 in the first half. They made their first 4, and then Arkansas finally got out to the line and kind of covered them. I thought one of those 4 went in, just was well defended, but it looked like it was going to be one of those nights early when, 12-5 or whatever out of the gate, but Florida was red hot in the first 5 minutes from 3-point range, and Arkansas finally kind of clamped down on that.
Hog steady the ship. They've done that at several points this season. Haven't necessarily always gotten off to a hot start, but you need to this Saturday when you face the Kentucky Wildcats. We'll have more in-depth conversation about that. I want to remind everyone Phil Elson and myself will be live for a halftime reunion of sorts at the Stadium Shop this Friday. Really appreciate WT Equipment and Reed's Metal and Ben also being a part of that. We're going to have a lot of fun starting at 10:30.
Yeah, and if you need anything for the stripe out, you can come. They'll have the seating chart there. The Stadium Shop is next door to Baum Walker, so you can come in, get a red or white shirt or whatever you need for the game. And like I said, you and Phil will be there. So 10:30, our start time from the Stadium Shop on Razorback next to Baum Walker in Fayetteville. Hey, comfort food's always big when the weather's bad. Go to Art's Barbecue today. Get you some kickin' chicken. Get you something with okra, their homemade onion rings, whether it's the fried chicken sandwich or a big old jumbo piled high pulled pork sandwich or maybe some ribs. It'd be a great day to get some arts and take it home in this cold weather. They're always there for you. Don't forget on Saturday, before or after the game, $1 off all burgers on Saturdays, Catfish Friday with the all-you-can-eat catfish special on Friday nights, and the best baby back ribs you're going to find is at Arts Barbecue and Burgers. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
We'll talk more about this Kentucky game coming up on Thursday and Friday. Richard Davenport's going to be joining us. I'm curious to see from Richard's standpoint if there's going to be any other high school kids in attendance. We know Jordan Walsh and Anthony Black were there this past game against Tennessee. Do they make a return trip? I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what their plans are. Anyone else in attendance? This would be a good one to be at. Arkansas, there's blood in the water. I know the students are going to be participating in that. Do you have an opinion on Arkansas? Do you like it? I know Ole Miss is more the land shark. Do you care?
I don't really care. The students are going to have a theme or something they do. I mean, that's for them. It's not for me. If it makes them a little rowdier, go for it.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be rowdy. 1 o'clock game. I got some disappointing news. Raptors not going to be there on Saturday. CBS is sending like their. I'm not going to say who it is, but they're sending like their D team, Tommy. And
who is it then? It's not like we're not going to find out. Or you don't have it? Okay.
No, I'm pulling up real quick, but I was very disappointed. I was hoping Onions would be here in attendance. It is Eric Messier and Pete Gillen. You ever heard of those two guys? Nope.
Of course.
No Nestler, no Iron Eagle. Come on, CBS, what are you doing?
Make your backyard dreams a reality this summer with an in-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas. Save $5,000 this month on select in-ground pools. And with payments starting at $290 a month, your own backyard oasis is not out of reach. Be one of the first 7 families to call and receive a free upgrade to a saltwater system, a nearly $2,000 value. Save $5,000 and get a free upgrade at